Yo, yo, what's good? What's good? Welcome to yet another episode of the Men Like Us podcast. Now, for those of you listening on audio platforms, you already know what it is. You got to give me some time. I got to share this out. We do these live streams, we do this show live. Every time we do it, it's always live. So, in that case, we like to get it shared out to a few groups, get some people watching, get some people interacting. Um, so it's all that. Yeah. So yeah, just give me a little bit to share this out as per usual. I know I've been going for a while, and I'll do my best to catch people up. May not give you all the answers you want, but we're gonna get you guys all caught up here. So um, all right, just give me a little bit. Hmm. All right. Yes, I know it's been a long time, but we are back. Give me a little bit more. I just want to get it out a few other places. Hmm. Huh. Uh, oh, right. There we go. Okay. Cool. So I think I have, believe I've done my part. And if you're watching this right now, please do me a solid and share it. And whatever group you're in, whatever. So I think that is all I need. So, yeah, it's been a minute, y'all. It has been a minute, but we're back. We're finally back. What's up, Dion? Dion, Davino, what's going on? Yeah, so hey, that's right. Finally caught alive. Shout out to YouTube. So yeah, we've been going for a minute. Took a little bit of a hiatus. Just had a lot going on, life, work, all that junk. But we are back. I am back. We will be doing these shows regularly once again in 2023. So come here for your Friday show. We're going to be going live every Friday at 8:30 Eastern, 8:30 p.m. Eastern, 7:30 p.m. Central. Just about mostly every Friday. I'll put up a post if we can't make it. But no, we're going live. We're getting back to it. It's a new year, and we got new stuff to talk about. We got some old stuff to talk about. To handle the house cleaning. Everybody, I need you to do your best. If you're on Facebook, share the show. If you are on Facebook, make sure you follow the Men Like Us podcast. If you're on YouTube, subscribe to the Men Like Us podcast. If you are on TikTok, follow me on TikTok. Let me see if I can add this here. There we go. So yeah, that's the Men Like Us. I guess search Men Like Us podcast. I got a few videos that's doing okay. Don't really have that many. The following ain't that high. I kind of fell off of my videos. I just had a little streak where I was doing some videos there, but it is very fascinating to see what resonates with people and what lights the internet on fire and what doesn't. I've definitely made a lot of new enemies. Speaking some truth about some things that people just really would rather not have somebody talk about. So I will be playing those videos later in the show. But I do want to say welcome to anybody who's new. This is the Men Like Us podcast. It's a show for men by men. This show is for men. The show is made to target men who are attracted to trans women in any way, shape, or form. If you are attracted to trans women, this is the show for you. We're tackling different subjects. We're bringing up different topics that hopefully will get people talking, thinking, and really doing some self work, looking within themselves, and understanding or trying to figure out where they can improve, where can they grow, and for a lot of men, how they can finally break out of that cocoon of fear that they've been trapped in for so long. And we're actually going to talk about that tonight. So before we dive into things, I want to say hey to everybody is here. What's up, Liberty? Hey, Jesse. Yeah, Liberty. It has been a while. Hey, Raven. Hope you're on the mend after your most recent surgery. Um, hope the recovery's going well. So, but yeah. So I was talking to my friend. My friend, I got different friends, in community, out community, but one of my girls, we was talking, and she has this guy that she's kind of been on and off with for, she's been dealing with him for about, let's just say, for a few years. And the guy's completely DL, and obviously not a place you want to be, not a place where you're supposed to be. But some people do find themselves there, and some people do find themselves getting comfortable in that when they really shouldn't. So she was telling me about this guy, and we started talking about this guy and what's going on with them, and it was just. So, this guy's completely DL. He dates cis women. He deals with trans women behind closed doors. His family don't know. Nobody in his life knows. He hides it from a lot of people, in a bid to be loved by everyone, to be that perfect son, to be that perfect brother, to be that man's man, all these things that he's trying to live up to, that's really stopping him from, being who he is and being free. Because when you live for other people and other people's happiness, that wears on you. It really does. It's a very stressful life. And I've been really big on making some changes lately, especially health wise. Stress hormones over a long period of time, not a good thing. Not a good thing at all. But it was just crazy because it's like this guy, he essentially, and not just him, a lot of men, they create whole ass fantasy scenarios to help them cope with loving trans women, but keep it a secret. So you got to keep up the story in the fantasy scenario that I only deal with cis women, and I'm this guy, and I'm presenting this way. But then that's just a fantasy. That ain't who you really. That ain't who and what you really are. But you need to prop up this fantasy of this identity of who and what you are, or what you want the world to think you are, just for your own sanity as well. It's kind of crazy. Men do a lot of like mental gymnastics. We rationalize quite a bit, when it comes to really what do you call it? Reconciling who we are with our attraction for trans women. We really try to section off, well, my trans attraction is over here, but me, who I am, is really over here. And this is what I want the world to see and know, because it's like this straight heterosexual male persona, super straight male persona that we're trying to put out there. There's no room for trans attraction in it. The world doesn't provide space for trans attraction and your typical straight male identity. There's no validation out there for that. So, I got a lot of guys really want to hold on to that, and they just lie and they try to act like it ain't really happening, and it's a whole ass thing. But one of my favorite, one of my former favorite radio hosts used to always say, rationalization is the second strongest human drive. People will rationalize all fucking day. Just they'll do all the mental gymnastics they need to do to rationalize what they're doing. And a lot of these, guys who are DL who are trying to project this super straight personality out into the world, they're doing all these mental gymnastics just to make it okay that they're really using and abusing individuals and keeping them secret. I mean, there is a lot of damage that goes into, what a lot of these DL guys end up doing. And, at the end of the day, um, you can't serve two masters. You can't serve two masters. You can't be in both worlds in these two sectioned off spaces 100% forever. At some point, this mental like castle that you concocted for yourself, this deck of cards, like it's gonna come falling down. At some point, it's gonna come falling down. At some point, you're gonna be exhausted and you're just not gonna be able to do it anymore. It's just not a sustainable way to live, frankly. I mean, it is for some people, but what they get in the end is they don't get anything good. You know, like what do you think the end result's going to be if you're DL? Like, what do you think the end result's going to be if you want to live as a DL man for the rest of your fucking life? I mean, you're destined to go from short-term relationship to short-term relationship to relationship without depth over and over and over again, and just dealing with breakup after heartache after missed opportunity, and it's just nothing but sadness and loneliness. At the end of the day, you're never going to be happy. Like, being DL long term is not a recipe for happiness at all. And I don't know if I guess the guys that are in this space, they're not able, at this point, they're just not able to see past their own sexual satisfaction. But it's like, eventually you're gonna be alone because all your relationships that you use to cover it up, they're gonna crumble. And all of these short-term relationships, you're gonna end up unfulfilled because they're all sexual and they lack depth. So it's just like at some point you have to resolve to live for your ultimate happiness. What does that look like? That's adulting. You want to see, okay, well, what is it going to take for me to be happy and find that true love? Because everybody wants to be loved. Everybody wants to be. Even though people say marriage ain't for me, I don't want about. Please, everybody wants to be loved, and that means romantically as well. Everybody wants that happily ever after. We are the Disney generation, by the way. We are the Disney generation. Everybody wants the happily ever after. So it's just like, how are you going to get that if you can't even accept yourself and you can't create the conditions in which you get what you want in the end? Which obviously what nobody wants is to live a double life their entire fucking lives, hiding who and what they are, hiding what kinds of women they're attracted to or who they engage with. And, some people may be watching this like, oh, it's just such a small group of men. That's not true. That is absolutely not true. It's not true at all. There are more men that are attracted to trans women than most people would like to believe. And, something I came across earlier this week was I know you guys, I know it's crazy, but Pornhub, if you don't know what it is, it's a streaming pornography site. They put out statistics every year in terms of who's watching what are people watching, what are the top categories, what are the top search terms, all of that stuff. And they put out their 2022 report, because obviously you have to put it out after this, the year's over with. But, it was really interesting results that I've been looking at them, over the past couple of years. And I'm a journalist. These things pop up and it's like, oh, yeah, it's crazy. What? But I've just been watching them. And obviously I've been keeping an eye on transgender, seeing where that stacks up against everything else. But this year is just a completely different year. And, it's something else. So this is a graphic of their summary, their key takeaways from the data dump from 2022. So I know it's a little tiny. I can't manipulate it and make it bigger. But the number two point is the transgender category on Pornhub. This is one of the main porn streaming sites on the internet. It grew by 75% to become the 7th most popular category worldwide. It's the number 1 category in Brazil. It's the number 3 category in America. Number 3. 3. That's I don't even know what it's above. Let's see. Because I think they got it here. No, where is that at? Fuck, I know they got it somewhere. Or did I get rid of that one? Did I get rid of it? I think I might have. I'm sorry, I had it downloaded here and then got rid of it. But either way, it's number 7. And that beats out so many other things. But if you do that and then you look at these, no, not this one. Yeah, these are the categories that gain the most. Transgender gained by quite a bit. And that's just where that one is. But you look at these, they do top searches by state. This is the first year ever I've ever seen any state have trans as their top porn search term ever. Looking at you, West Virginia, and I don't know. I think there's a lot of curious guys over in Wisconsin too, because pegging is for some reason number 1. I don't know why, but what was this one? That was. But what also I found interesting about this, because this all points to there are way more guys watching trans porn, way more guys who find themselves attracted to trans bodies than people are admitting. There's literally only a couple hundred, if not maybe 1,000 guys that I know of, maybe more, but it's such a super small, and the girls, trans women know there's super small percent of men that are just owning up to who they are and what they are. And it's a very small portion of men that are doing this, but it's the number 3 porn category on a massive site like Pornhub. And I found this other one to be interesting as well. This is by generation. So for you see that it's the highest with Gen X, 35 to 50 men, or I guess men and women. I'm assuming, yeah, I guess it's just people 35 to 54. Trans is doing pretty fucking good. It's also doing pretty good in Generation Y, which is, I don't know what Generation Y is really, but 24 to 34. Completely falls off the map for the kids 18 to 24. Falls off the map for baby boomers. I understand it's just not whatever, but these are the top categories, and they list the top 7, and trans is in there. It's fucking in there when you go by gender. It's in there. It's in there. Like, and I'm not trying to prove a point that everybody likes trans, and you're all lying if you say you don't. I'm saying that there are far more that are actually watching this, find trans bodies attractive, than are willing to admit it, because the data is here. You can lie all you want to, but the data that comes off of what you click on doesn't lie. It tells the truth. And I'm just trying to paint this picture because it really does matter. As a footnote, something I found very interesting is that transgender males, porn with transgender males is ranking for cis women. And actually, when you look at the search terms, when they stack up the genders against each other, that's another thing. When you go country by country, trans fucks girl is always one of those big top search terms. One of those highest growing search terms for many countries out there, which is crazy. But I'm just putting all this out there because there are plenty of men, more than who would ever admit it, at least right now, who are watching these videos. They're keeping it a secret, and they're keeping it a secret from everybody, their girlfriends, their best friends, their family. It's something that they're afraid of people finding out. They're definitely afraid. And I know how that feels because I was that dude. I was that guy. I was watching trans porn. All that was my main porn category. And I was deathly, and I mean deathly afraid of anybody finding out. I didn't want anyone. That was a secret. If you ask, if I mean, me in my early 20s, I plan to take this secret to my grave. I plan for nobody on the planet to ever know that I found trans bodies attractive. Trust, I was going to keep that shit a secret. I was going to bottle it up and just keep that a secret and just live my cis hetero life. So I know that there are plenty of guys out there like that. The data says that. And I know that I was one of those people. I was just so afraid. I didn't want anybody to know. I didn't want anybody to think I was gay. I didn't want my manhood to be questioned by everybody. I didn't want to be othered by other men, you know, when it comes to male community. I didn't want to be othered by my own community, you know, speaking more Black community than anything else. Like, it was just all of this fear, all of these things. And then, you know, once I actually got to the point where I was like, yo, it's, you know, I just decided to tear down that wall and just be open with it. It really wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. It really wasn't getting all the condemnation. I didn't lose the friends. I didn't lose the respect of so many people around me. But I know that that can happen. Not every family's the same. Not everybody's the same. Trust me, you can go back in my catalog. I completely detail the conversation that I had with my mom when we just finally had to acknowledge what was going on. But you know, I just really felt like I had to just say it, just put it out there, because it's just one of these crazy things that just guys are doing. And I'm just like, bro, what are you doing this for? Like, really? You're I guess, you know, there was a life coach that I used to talk to on Clubhouse. And one of the things that he said, it always stuck with me, is that, you know, we create our own misery. And in this case, men, if you are keeping this secret, if you're racked by fear, you're creating your own misery. The stress of keeping this secret, making sure nobody knows, even especially when you're dealing with the girls, the stress of, oh my God, I hope she doesn't tell anybody and this, and this, or if you get seen out with somebody and you're just freaking out, like all of that, that's of your own creation. That's all you. That ain't them. That ain't anybody else. That's you. We create our own misery. So, but yeah, that's that. I just had to get that off my chest because it was just, it's crazy how you know some men move and try to find a way to exist in this dynamic that doesn't do anything for them. In the long run, it's all bullshit. It's immature, and it doesn't result in your happiness. And we only live so long. We only do this thing once. Might as well do it the way you want to, with who you want to, because you ain't gonna get a second chance. So I'm gonna bring my main man Dom in here because he's been waiting in the wings for a little bit. So hold on, give me 1 second. Let me let the homie online here. There he is.
Oh, hey, you caught me right in the middle of trying to plug my phone in. What's going on?
What's going on, man?
Oh, you know, just another beautiful day in paradise. Just finally got my hair cut after having so long down to almost to my shoulder length. But,
oh, really? Wow.
Yeah, it was like here. So.
Dom, I don't know if you saw this. I was putting up some stats earlier just showing like really how common trans porn is in terms of porn viewership overall.
Sure.
And you know, you know, we talked about it in the guys group a little bit, you know, because we do talk about these things. We talk about plenty of other stuff, but this was just one little thing I had to bring up. Like, hey, this is crazy, isn't it? Like, this is the number 3 category in America. And but everybody doesn't watch it. It's number 3. There's only 2 other categories that get more views than trans porn on this massive database.
I definitely find it interesting.
It is.
I saw the statistics that you were putting up with different age groups. that are saying, yeah, there we go, that
Hmm.
watch trans porn. And let's see, 18 to 24, was that threesome?
It's
Okay.
not on the
Oh
Gen Z
yeah,
kids. They're not watching it.
really?
But for whatever reason, it doesn't float their boat.
So Gen
So
Z, that would be,
that's the young kids. That's the kids who are in college.
really, because I find that very interesting,
Yeah.
because so I work for a company that has teenagers, um, and it seems like, I mean, teenagers talk, and they have no filter at all.
Yeah.
And I have this one individual that is very open to sleeping with every gender, and especially trans. And it brought
Hmm.
up a topic came up one night as we were closing, and these are surprisingly, and I know, why would you have these conversations, but whatever, it's a restaurant. Not
Yeah.
that it makes it okay, but some of these kids are 16 to 21, and we were having a conversation, and they're saying, yeah, trans porn is part of their um, library of different porn that they watch.
Hmm.
And I thought that was very interesting, and seeing these kids just open up and just be with no shame, they
Yeah.
have no shame to it, and just talk about it. It's very interesting to see that. And I have another individual that I work with, um, who is 18 years old, and he's like, yeah, I would sleep with a man, no problem. I would sleep with a trans woman, no problem. Either or a trans male. He's like, gender has no means nothing to me. If I'm sexually attracted to you, and you feel the same way towards me, and we're vibing, why not? If it's consensual,
Hmm.
why not? And I think that's very interesting, especially for the younger guys. Um,
Yeah. I mean, it's I understand some might interpret that as, well, men will just fuck anything. But what I think is key there, like you said, is people just, they don't have any problem. There's no shame.
right.
Like, there are people twice their age that are, I mean, they would damn near have a heart attack if that shit came out. Like, it would
Well,
be a whole ass fucking problem.
I find it very interesting because I feel like, so I was born in the 90s,
Uh-huh.
92, so right at the beginning. I feel like my breed or generation is kind of the dying generation of, and maybe I'm wrong. And if I'm wrong, please tell me. But it seems like we're the breed that is still, is this okay? Is this not okay? Like,
Hmm.
should we be open about this, or should we just keep it to ourselves? You know what I mean? Now, yes, I'm open about dating in the community, and seeing somebody in the community, but still, and I mean, it takes time, and I'm sure you can agree with that. But
Hmm.
there's still certain people that, when they ask, it's like, should I tell them? And I'm not trying to use it as hiding, but it's
Hmm.
more of, how would this affect me later on down the road? Right now,
Hmm.
it's easy. So where am I trying to go with this? Okay, the people at work, the other bosses, know that my ex-wife was trans. I never told them, but of course they went snooping, and social media is a thing, and so they found out some things. And so they kind of not hang that over my head, but it's like they make jokes of, oh, this girl's hot, but she's not Dom's type. And I'll be like, why isn't she my type? And one of them will go, because she doesn't have a penis between her leg. So it's one of those type of things. It's constantly jokes like that.
Oh, wow.
So it's like, okay, I can come out and be like, yes, we all know. Yeah, okay, so let's move on. Or do I just stay quiet and just, yeah, okay, just kind of laugh it off and not make a big deal and move on about it? There's some places in my life where I pick and choose to um, let that part of me known.
Hmm.
But other than that, yeah, I'm completely open. Just some areas. I have little gray areas. It makes life a little easier not to just to acknowledge it, but not, you know, give them that full confirmation, if that makes sense. I don't
Hmm.
know if that's wrong of me.
Well,
Um,
what I would say is, look, because for whatever reason, people believe that it's like the guys like us or men like us are promoting that men tell everybody in their lives all day, every day.
right.
It's really just about keeping it 100 with your inner circle.
Sure.
Your friends, your family, the people that you really give a fuck about.
Yeah.
You know, they're you're better off. I don't understand trying to live a lie in front of people that love you.
Sure. Yeah.
When it comes to work, people and whatever, anything,
So
it's not whatever. You don't got to tell them because it ain't their business.
you know what's interesting for me
Hmm.
as an individual? I find it so much easier if someone goes, what's your type of women, and I tell them my type of women, and if we've just met and we're just conversating and I'm like, yeah, I'm
Hmm.
also interested in trans women, I have no problem saying that. It just rolls off the tongue. I'm open,
Yeah.
I'm honest about it, easy going, and they're sometimes I get the reactions like, okay, or just, oh, fascinating, tell me more, you know. But when it comes to family, certain type of family members, it's just like, I know they know, I
Hmm.
know, I know,
Hmm.
but for whatever reason, it's we just not having that conversation.
No, I feel you. Because here's the thing: family talks.
Right.
First of all, if you somebody find out, everybody gonna know.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
the cousin such and such know, cousin gonna tell their mama gonna tell auntie, uncle, whoever. It spreads.
Yeah.
So I'm the same. Like I have a big family. My dad's side of the family big. My mom's side of the family big. I've had a one-on-one conversation with every single person, but everybody knows.
Yeah.
But guess what? I haven't had aunts and uncles that I haven't had a one-on-one conversation with have been nothing but amazing to my girlfriend.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
we
That's really
had
good to hear.
no smoke from the extended family, and I really think it's because they got embarrassed.
Yeah.
It's one of those situations where it's like, oh wait, well we don't really agree with this, but we don't want to be bigots.
Sure.
So to not be those people, then we'll allow this basic level of treatment. Now that's just some. A lot have been like told her like, okay, you're a part of this now. Like, come back. We'll see you the next time. We'll see you at the family reunion. We'll see you at this. Like, they messaged my girlfriend, hit her up on her birthday. She messages them. Like, they traded Merry Christmas, New Year's messages. It was like, it's
Yeah.
crazy. But I know everybody knows, but I had a conversation with everybody.
Yeah.
Now, granted, I do this thing, but everybody don't see this.
Sure. Yeah.
I mean, I got aunts, in their 60s. They ain't, what the
Yeah.
fuck are they doing watching? No.
What's the internet?
Yeah. They're not
No.
doing that.
Yeah. I mean, look, I always have to say it's, in my experience, the
Hmm.
first round of bringing home. It's not like bringing home a puppy, but bringing home a trans individual that you're romantically involved with.
Hmm.
Yeah, there's this shock value, but once family realizes that, okay, this is who you're attracted to, and you're dating or you're not dating, and these individuals that you're romantic with come around, it becomes so much easier, and it stops being a topic, and it is just, at least in my
Hmm.
um how can I say it, situations, I guess. Like,
Yeah.
I was talking to a family member right on the phone before I hopped on here. And of course, she was asking who Samantha is, because when I was talking to you, I was also live streaming and I dropped
Yeah.
Samantha's name. And I was like, oh shit.
Yep.
And I didn't know my aunt was watching, and she asked, "Is Samantha trans?" And I said, "Yeah, she is." I want to get past. And I don't know if any of this is on topic or not. I'm just kind of spitballing here.
It's all good.
I want to get past those type of questions. Like,
Bruh.
okay, we know you date trans women. Okay,
it's always gonna, the question's always gonna be there as long as
but
they
why?
know you're dating somebody that they wouldn't choose for you. And the concept, like, so for example, I used to date women. I dated women of all different races, you know, in my youth. And my mom, I'd be like, "Oh yeah, I met this girl." My mom would be like, "Is she white?" Or no. She would just be like, "Is she black?" That'd be, "Is she black? Is she black?" She even asks that like now, "Is she black?" Yes. But well, so what if she is?
Yeah.
I mean, that's when me and my sisters kind of ridicule. Like, man, mom, you racist.
No,
we just ridicule her until she's like, "What and then we all have a laugh and keep it moving. But you know, we recognize that shit. But it's going. I'm just saying, it's going to keep coming from people. These folks stuck in their ways.
But it's like I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We know, you know, everybody knows. Why is it a question? Just if she would have asked,
I wonder what they think the follow up is from that though. When you say yes, then
I'm
what?
just going to throw them with a curveball and be like, no, just to see their, you know, like, is it one of those? Oh, it's about time. But I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah. I wanted to jump to these back to these comments.
Oh yeah,
because we were talking about the different generations, who watches trans porn, who doesn't, and now there's a little bit of speculation as to why Generation Z doesn't watch it as much as the millennials and Gen X watches it.
Right.
So, which I'm gonna just pull that out one more again. So you see, it's not on here for Gen Z. It's on here for Gen Y. It's on here for Gen X. Not for the boomers. But let me get to this first comment here from LG Jim. What's going on, by the way? Says maybe because they're growing during a time where trans isn't as sexualized for them in terms of porn. And I mean, I'm just saying, you know, because I've admitted it before. As a trans porn aficionado, I can tell you this much. There is more, especially American, more trans porn being made now than ever before. Yeah. More genres, more categories. I mean, the shit they got today. Like, yo, they got whole websites dedicated to BBW girls. Back when I was like young and looking at the shit, all we had was T.S. Madison. We had nothing else. Wasn't no other big boned ladies out there. They got all. It's the way they have grown this whole side of it is crazy. They're even making 4K high value like Justice League ripoffs and shit like the mainstream folks do. It's a mess.
Yeah.
I mean, I seen the Wonder Woman one, and she looked just like Wonder Woman. I know she don't look like that no more. There's that individual detransition. Yeah. But then retransition for money, I don't know.
Are they retransitioning?
I think they brought back the Chanel Santini thing, but like only to make money. But they ain't get their titties back. They just, you know, today I'm wearing a wig, today I'm not, today I'm on. It's just like they're trying to switch between personalities. It's a mess.
Yeah.
Anyhow, but no, I'm just saying
I could never watch Chanel Santini.
Oh really? I typically don't.
Well, okay. If you take a picture of Chanel Santini and a picture of my ex-wife, they look very similar.
Oh, really?
Maybe some details are off, but they're like right there with each other. So it was just like, you know, I couldn't watch her because she reminded me of my ex-wife being slept around with all of the area that I live. So it's just whatever. But moving on from that.
Hold on a second. I just want to show people because, like, she definitely resembles the real. What's her name? Gal Gadot.
Gal Gadot, yeah. Yeah,
Yeah. Oh,
she does.
stupid.
She's
This thing is
attractive.
not letting me.
Well, they were. I don't know. That's a
Yeah. It's
complicated word.
fucking confusing
Chanel
at this point.
Satini was attractive. Yeah, we'll
Yeah,
say that.
that shit. So I'm trying to bring this fucking image over, but keeps trying to give me. There we go. There we go. It was giving me this stupid. I hate those web p files.
Oh yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
That's
So
the
give me a second, because I don't care. I'm showing the shit. It's my show.
yeah.
This is what the fuck we talk about, guys. So it is what it is. This is what we talking about. So we ain't gonna show no nudity or nothing. But the girl very much resents when she's in the show. She resembles Gal Gadot quite a bit.
Yeah.
Or Gadot. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
either one. But
Ah,
I mean, it's possible that they don't sexualize it as much, but I don't know. I don't know. Maybe. I guess I don't spend much time around Generation Z people.
right.
I get very few Generation Z men hitting me up, but that's because in my experience, most men don't get to a point where they're fed up and they just have had enough and they want to be open and they want to explore themselves and make that change. Like usually it takes time to get to that point. So most guys don't hit that till they're 30. A lot of guys I know, they don't hit that until they hit their
Right.
30s. And they're looking to switch it up. Tracy said, I wonder if Gen Z isn't accessing it like the prior generations because they have much more access to it in real life because they are so much more open. The prior generations did it all in secret, so they continue the habit today. Maybe. I mean, I definitely think there's more access to it. I think there's just more people, more trans people in general, and I think that population is only going to
Yeah.
grow as it becomes easier and easier for people to be open. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I mean, it kind of goes to what you were talking about earlier, Dom, is where the kids like, yeah, I'll do this. I don't care. Like they're just open with it, and I guess maybe because they're open with it, they pursue it, and
Sure.
they have a lot more access to it. But what I could say is, I'm old. I'm old. So I'm not 18 to 24. And I don't want to be. I don't want a 24-year-old man's paycheck, trust me. Don't ever want to revisit those days. But yeah, I mean it's when I guess I'm born and raised in Milwaukee, Wisconsin. It just went out there like that. I
Right.
think I remember seeing maybe 2 or 3 trans people in my entire time living there. And I get people who say, well, that you know of. Fair enough, because in a place like Milwaukee, Wisconsin, in a state like Wisconsin, you're not exactly looking for it. I get if
Yeah.
you're in New York, you're seeing a boom, 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 boom. You may even have an eye for it. But
Yeah.
Milwaukee, nah. And I mean, there's more Milwaukees out there. There's a Memphis, Tennessee, Nashville, Cincinnati, Cleveland, Detroit, like Indianapolis, even Orlando to an extent, and all these mid-sized cities with like just not they're not the behemoths that Houston, Dallas, L.A., Chicago, New York really are. So
So it
mhm,
seems like for whatever reason, the two biggest states that have the most trans women in there is either Texas for whatever reason. It's the
mhm,
most conservative state, or Nevada.
mm,
It seems like it's those two
mhm.
states, at least in my
Well, the New
perspective.
Yorkers are gonna always disagree because New York has to have the most and be the best at everything
Oh
for
yeah,
some
it's
damn
New York.
reason to those people.
Yeah.
You know who you are. We're not even going to name names.
Uh-oh.
But no, I'm just saying, I think location still plays a huge part in it. But we got all these dating apps now. You got all these
Yeah.
like apps. The
Yeah.
internet has made engaging with trans women so much more accessible. Even even then, like maybe 10 years ago, 2012, 2013. Like it's way more accessible now. I mean, you can hop on a multitude of dating apps and connect with a girl either in your area or the next state or whatever.
Yeah.
What's up, John?
Says Texas isn't more conservative than Mississippi. I've never been to Mississippi.
Well, Mississippi is conservative to its own detriment, which is why it's the poorest state in the nation. So,
Oh, I didn't
but
even know. I didn't even know that.
yeah, no, yeah, Mississippi is pretty much at the bottom for a lot of things. So,
Jesus.
yeah. But whatever, I'll be there this summer, family reunion.
Oh,
My
hell yeah.
family is from Mississippi. So yeah, we were slaves in Mississippi. We are from Kosciuszko, Mississippi, and we all come back together for the family reunion. We got our first church founded by a family member. You can see the slave quarters. You can see all the shits. And we still got people in my family still live there now. And, we're a big Patterson is a very common name. There's a lot of us. But,
Yeah.
Sorry, I know that's side note. But, yeah, I mean, this whole Gen Z thing, yeah, I think, yeah, them being more open might have a whole lot more to do with it. Like just how it's seen, how masculinity is seen, how gender is seen by this younger group. Because, you rewind that 10, 15 years ago, the young people, they said they were liberal, but they weren't that liberal to be, embracing demi boys, demi girls, NBs, and all this other stuff that's just like all over the place. Shit's changing. But I mean, hey, it could be for the better, for sure. And I mean, it could be for the better. I would love to be an optimist, but I just can't be because we still live in a country where interracial dating is up for debate in terms of legality and whether it's acceptable or not. So, hey, black people have been here. Yeah, it's still a thing. Black people have been here for a very long time. We've been here since the country's been here, and it still is a problem for so many people. So and that's why I just can't have complete hope that hey, everything's going to change. Everybody's going to be accepting. We won't even need trans-attracted support groups or any of that in 20 years. Like, I would love for that to be true.
Yeah.
But I think there are certain cultures and religions that will not change. This whole conservative America, it's not going anywhere. In fact, the shit's flaring up. We're dead 50-50. These presidential elections are going to be tight every time now because it's a culture war in America. And, I understand that there are some people in the trans community that lie on either side, obviously more that are liberal than conservative, but there are some conservative folks out there.
Sure.
Girls who are conservative. So, anywho, but yeah, man, we're gonna take a break real quick because I'm gonna roll some of these videos.
Okay.
For you. I'm gonna roll a couple videos for the viewers because, hey, guys, I am on TikTok. If you're on TikTok, follow me, Men Like Us podcast. I'm gonna roll a couple of these videos that I pissed off quite a few people with my shit, and when you watch it, you're just like, why are people angry? Because it doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
There is nothing wrong with trans attraction. Men, if you are being questioned by individuals from the trans community about trans attraction, if you're being told that it's a fetish, ignore it. Just keep it moving. If these people do not want to believe that it is possible for you to be sexually attracted to members of the transgender community while holding honorable intentions for long-term healthy relationships, keep it moving. Do not argue with people who don't believe you. Just keep it moving. And a message. Man, you are not supposed to be DL forever. I understand that for a lot of men, being DL is a part of their journey. It's a part of their life story. A lot of times we start out life trying to live for others instead of live for ourselves and our own happiness. But brother, you gotta grow up. You have to change. You have to evolve. You can't be DL for 20 years. You're not supposed to be in this state of arrested development, Guys, move past it. I understand we start there. I understand a lot of men start there. But you have to grow, evolve, get started on your journey. And I think you'd be surprised at what changes you see in yourself. Oh, hold on. Down here. Yeah, so you would think those videos are pretty fucking benign, but I got quite a bit of hate. In fact, I got my channel reported and temporarily taken down.
Are you serious?
Yes, I for that trans attraction video,
Right.
I had trans women reporting me for hate speech and discrimination,
What?
and TikTok ripped the whole thing down. So then, and I had a lot of women they were just battling. They were really fighting against what I had to say. They were legit wars. And the conversation was like, you know what, I'm done. I'm not arguing with people no more. If you disagree with me, just disagree and talk to other people. Don't talk to me.
Right.
I said what I said,
Yeah.
But yeah, I had to actually like appeal and get a human at TikTok to review my content for them to see that I wasn't promoting hate speech.
Sure.
So, when a lot of the guys are content creators, when we bitch and moan about, they say, oh, well, when we talk about like, hey, who's our biggest haters? Who's our biggest enemy? A lot of times it's trans women. It is not homophobic people. It's people racked with internalized transphobia, but it is never the outside world. It's always people from inside the community that are trying to dive bomb our stuff. So, I've had one of my videos taken down. It was reported for hate speech. And I think the topic of the show was we were honoring a trans woman that had been killed. Right. And like they put my YouTube channel at risk for being taken down over that shit. It's freaking crazy, man. So, but yeah, that second video, the DL video, oh my God, all the DL guys were pissed. The DL guys and then some gay guys kind of chimed in. But like this one guy in the comments, he literally tried to, he didn't try to, he said it. He said DL is a sexual orientation and how dare you judge it?
How is DL a sexual orientation?
I don't fucking know, but he was fighting so hard to validate his existence as a DL man and his position in life as a DL. That's what
you know what that is, fellas? Internalized transphobia. That's what that is.
It is?
Point blank period. Internalized transphobia.
How?
Yeah. Because you're not being honest with yourself, first of all. Saying that being DL is a sexual orientation. That is saying that I like trans women or I watch transgender porn. So I'm going to pursue this side of me, but I don't want society to know. I don't want this person to know. Instead of going, this is what I like. Fuck you if you don't like it. I mean,
hell yeah.
I don't know.
I feel you on that.
I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm probably going to get
I'm asking because other people are going to be asking. Hold on.
Yeah, I agree. Harmony.
What's up, Harmony? Shout out. Thanks for watching, tuning in. But yeah, this guy who's claiming DL is a sexual orientation and I'm demonizing him and trying to force him to come out. And he was really coming at me like I was the bad guy in the situation. And you watch the video.
Yep.
I was just telling guys, hey, this is not, being DL is not a good plan for long-term happiness. You're going to have short-term relationships. At some point, your relationship can't go past a certain point because you have to keep that secret. The shit is capped. When they say, you ever heard the term, the saying, sky's the limit? Well, in this case, the limit's the sky. You can't go past this. Your relationship will hit the wall, and that's it. It can never have any more depth. It can never be what you want it to be. You're just going to go from unsuccessful relationship to unsuccessful relationship. They're all going to crumble. They're all going to stall out. and you're just gonna move on to the next girl and just keep keeping the secret. That's a miserable fucking existence. I would never want that existence. But as you can see, there are men who are actually fighting for it, and they are. I mean, there were a couple guys that were pretty upset. They were pretty upset because they're like, "Yo, what are you doing, calling us out? We're perfectly valid in what we're doing, and you know, I have every right to stay DL if I want to stay DL." And I'm like, I didn't say you didn't, but
Yeah.
the most outlandish thing, obviously, was the guy that said being DL is a sexual orientation, and I shouldn't be trying to force him into anything else. So ridiculous. Couldn't believe it. Couldn't believe it. What up, G Mike? Shout out Mike from the group. People make up their own words and definitions these days. Absolutely right. We got one more comment.
Okay, so this may sound a little condescending,
Wait,
or
hold on. I want to get this one more comment out.
oh, sure, yeah.
Last comment for a while, but Harmony said exactly. It's impossible to be content with dating a DL trans attracted man because the relationship will never grow or mature. Everything. Thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad somebody's seeing it. And you know, I shout out to the women who set the bar at, yo, you can't be DL. Shout out to the girls that set that bar and don't allow that shit.
So, okay, now I'm gonna sound condescending, or what's the word when I'm or contradicting, right? I'm gonna
Oh,
contradict myself here for a minute.
uh-oh. Well, you can have the stage for that. There you go.
Oh God, don't put me up like that. That's terrible. Look at this ugly mug. So look, there's nothing wrong with being DL, right? To a certain extent. If you are learning about this with yourself, that you are trans attracted, if that's either through porn, where I would say 98% of men figure out that's their attraction, or whatever. And sorry, I got my cat on me. And you want to pursue that avenue of yourself without notifying the people around you, then that's fine. You should take that time to learn what you like and what you don't like, and it's nobody's business, right? And if you want to go on dates with individual women, then that's fine to a certain point. Communication is key, and you should communicate with them. Look, I'm attracted to trans women. I'm learning that about myself. Hey, how's it going? I'm learning this about myself. I find you attractive. Let's go on this date. So if I pursue, or if I'm coming off a specific way and a little on the edge, please work with me, forgive me, understand where I'm coming at, because this is my first time expressing myself, and where am I going with this? Acknowledging this part of myself. I think that's fine. But once again, communication is key. But like you said, exactly what you said and what Harmony said. So at a certain point, now it's no longer discovering yourself. I mean, we're always on a constant discovery, but now it's no longer discovering yourself. Now it's like, okay, this is what I like. This is what I don't like. This is what I'm attracted to. This is what I'm not attracted to. Now we're dating. We're on a relationship. Something's growing. Now I have to start with no longer being on the DL side of things. Now I have to embrace who you are, who I am, be okay with that, and hold my head up high and move forward and walk to the beat of my own drum, and have you on my arm or by my side, whichever you presume, and feel comfortable with that. But it's all about progression and different stages that you do it into. You should follow through. I don't know if I'm making sense or not. I'm probably just
No,
rambling.
no, you totally are. And really that's the scenario that a lot of women find themselves in. I've definitely talked to quite a few women that have and they complained about it. Well, some of them complained about it because, you know, essentially in that scenario, you're asking the woman to do the work with you,
Right.
Like, hey, work with me, help me through this. And you might
Essentially,
not
work
be
middleman.
but you may not be the first guy that they did it with, though. You
True.
may not be the first, second, or even third guy that they helped discover himself and figure himself out. Which is why a lot of times I advocate for men to figure yourself out before you do any of this shit. Like, yeah, you can be DL, but that's time for you to work on yourself, reconcile your attraction with your masculinity, learn more about yourself, get yourself grounded to a level where your identity as a man, your manhood, your straight identity isn't shaken. If anybody finds out, if you take this girl out on a date and you run into, because let's say this guy is out on a date and he runs into a coworker or one of his friends that he goes out with every Saturday.
Right.
Now he's freaking out. He's not equipped to handle that because he's not grounded and he's not on stable ground. And he's going to get the oh shit eyes. His eyes are going to go big like, shit. The girl's going to see it. She's going to read it off. It's just going to be a thing. And, while that may seem far flung for a lot of people, running into somebody happens a lot more than you think it would.
Oh, yeah.
And it could be like, and it could be somebody you haven't even seen it forever. It's fucking crazy. It happens like that. But I just think, men should do the work on their own.
Sure.
And not rely upon women to handhold them through the whole thing. That's my thought. But hold on, Harmony just came back with something, and Dion is giving it the 100. Okay sign. So all right. Harmony says being DL is okay when you're new to the attraction and figuring yourself out. It's actually wise to be discreet in learning and understanding your feelings in this new attraction. However, the problem is DL men who are married trying to creep and keep a trans woman. 1 second. Married and trying to keep a trans woman his secret. Unfortunately, some men use the DL/discreet label as a way to manipulate and fetishize us, which is absolutely what we're trying to avoid here by just saying, hey, I say, you don't have to tell them, you know this about yourself. I'm not saying you got to broadcast it on day one. You can baby step it. You can have conversations. You can listen to podcasts. You can read books. You can do whatever. You can talk to people and learn more about yourself and get yourself up to the point where you're confident in yourself and say, okay, I am going to do this. I know me. I'm going to do this. I'm not going to hide it. This is what I want to do. I want that relationship. I want that forever love. And I'm driving towards that goal.
So, okay, real quick.
That's not a quick process, but you got to take a break. I think you got to take a break for a while.
So let me ask you a question, and the women that are popping up. Let me ask you a question, right? Hypothetically speaking, we're dating. Congrats, we're dating. But I don't tell anybody you're trans. It's nobody's business. If somebody asks that you're trans, I'll say, yeah, if she wants me to, disclose that information, then sure, she's trans. But is it a problem if we're dating and I just introduce you as, let's just say Harmony or Dion? Is that how you pronounce her name? That's popping up in here.
That's what I guessed.
You just, yeah, this is my girlfriend Dion, or this is my girlfriend Harmony. But I don't say anything about you being trans. And if they ask, then yeah, okay, and you just move on from that. But is that something that would make me consider DL if I don't disclose that information?
Nah, but okay, think about it the other way. Is there an organic conversational scenario when you would actually drop that in where it would make sense? Because I can't think of one. Because let's say, okay, you introduce your girl to your best friend.
Sure.
Your best friend already knows how you get down and what you're about. You ain't got to bring it up right there because he already know. And if it's somebody that doesn't know and you haven't talked to, they don't got to know.
Yeah.
It isn't like you're hiding it, but it's like, man, this is my girlfriend, such and such. It's, hey, man, this is my girl. So, hey, that's Reno, that's Tito, that's whoever, Stinky, whatever stupid nicknames men have. But I'm sorry. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, wow.
Oh, yeah. Questions are popping in. Okay.
Hey, what's up, Johnny? That's one of the guys from the group. Shout out, bro.
Hey, man.
Told my wife she was okay with it.
Cool. Congrats,
okay.
man.
Yep. Not at all. This has been my experience my whole trans life. I have a question if it's off topic, but how do y'all feel about the trans amorous label? We can get to that.
Sure.
We can circle back to that for sure. If I'm happy to answer, people got questions.
Yeah.
And Dion says, actually, in my case, I prefer to keep it with my man. I give my man time and
OFC.
Yeah. Then there would be a time for us to disclose it to a few people who will be affected in our relationship long term. Yeah.
What is OFC? What am I missing?
I don't know. I think we got the gist of it. Is he wants to keep it between them and then eventually roll it out to certain people that they're close with. But what I'm saying is part of men doing the work is setting the table, setting the conditions for a relationship to work as well as it could. Oh, of course.
Oh, okay.
OFC is of course. I'm saying you set the table. So by doing the work on yourself, coming to terms with yourself, having conversations with your inner circle and helping them understand who you are, who you really are, by the time you get a girlfriend, you don't have to do any of this rollout shit. They already know what's up, and it doesn't even have to be talked about.
Sure.
And now they come to the table with all the respect and considerations there within, and there isn't anything, there's no awkwardness. They're looking at her like, oh, well, that's my guy's girl, and I fucks with her, and she's cool, and they're trying to get to know her and make sure that they actually just like her for who she is instead of dealing with this awkwardness of trans or whatever else. Like, and with your family, I mean, it could go either way. Obviously, could be some people that are just like, fuck it. Or other people that are like, hey, I'm going to do everything I can to make this person feel comfortable. So but I just feel like prep work matters. Come on, Batman, prep work. This makes all the difference.
So let me throw this question out there, right?
Oh, wait, hold on. Labels. One-sided, transfer, singled out. A lot of, I'm sorry, and Johnny's going at it today.
Yeah,
a lot of men attracted to trans women are only attracted to cis women and trans women. And yeah, that's true. And the only difference is, is that some of these women have the basic attraction is because she is a woman. Fair enough. But that was the
is that part two?
Can we loop back to Harmony's question real quick? Because I don't want that to fall through the cracks.
Sure.
But I appreciate you coming with the questions, bro. I don't want to miss this because this has been a thing as of late for some reason. How do we feel about the trans amorous label? How do you feel about it?
I mean, it's a label. I mean, if people want to associate me that way, then whatever. That's fine. I don't care.
Fair enough.
I mean, so look, I'm attracted to trans women. That's what I say. And then I have those people that ask me, okay, so you like trans women? Are you gyno, sexual, whatever the hell that
gyno something philia?
I'm like, no, I'm straight. Thank you for playing, but I'm straight.
Yeah.
So I mean, trans. What is it?
Amorous.
What did you say it was? Amorous. So what does that mean? Just trans attracted?
So some people use the term trans amorous as a way to differentiate themselves. It's some people use it as a way to differentiate themselves from men who are trans attracted but are only here for the sex. And so certain individuals who are relationship, they build themselves as, I'm relationship focused. I'm really here to establish something serious with a trans woman. I am trans amorous because for me it's about more than just the sexual attraction. So that's what certain people say. I don't 100% care for it too much, only because it's a term that's kind of turned into this monster of expectations.
Gotcha.
Essentially, it's a loaded word. It was a new word, and then it's maybe not so new, but it just gained popularity. But it's loaded at this point, because when you say trans amorous, there are women out there who have this fucking like white knight vision in their head, like,
Complex.
oh my god, he's one of the good ones. He'll give me the love I've never had, and he'll do all these nice things. And it's like, actually, I just wanted to go out on a date, and I don't want to marry you right off the bat. Like, I'm just a guy, and I'm attracted to trans women.
Yeah.
And if some guy says, "Oh, I'm trans amorous," and now they assume you're relationship focused, but not everyone is relationship focused. Some people are just casual daters, and that's just what the fuck they do.
Yeah.
So I have, I've used the term trans amorous, in the past to describe myself. I've switched, and it's documented on this podcast. I've definitely made a change to just saying I'm openly trans attracted, because at the very least, I'm trying to boil things down to their most basic level, where there's no room for misinterpretation. So I'm openly trans attracted. So now when I say that, there's no any other expectations put on me that I didn't agree to.
Sure.
There are no definitions that I have to fall into, the paradigm of, because I'm not promising all these extra things. So sorry, I'm catching up with these comments.
Yeah, I'm trying to read them too as well.
Yeah, so the trans amorous term, I don't. I mean, people can use it, and I don't care if they use it. It's a label. There will always be a new label. There will always be a new demographic. Society changes. The English language is always changing. People are always trying to use terms to classify new things, and it is what it is. But I don't begrudge anyone who uses the term trans amorous.
No, not at all.
But for me, I just, especially in conversations like this, I shy away from using it, and I'd rather just say openly trans attracted, just so that I make sure I'm not beholden to anyone else's expectations of being a white knight and being this relationship guy. And but you love the community. Amorous means love, and all this other bullshit. Like, whatever, fuck it. I don't give a fuck. Yeah. All this bullshit people make up in their heads. I'm not here for it. I'm just me. I like trans women. That's what it is. I'm just one of the guys that's willing to say, I like that shit. While everybody else is looking and saying, damn, she fine. I'm willing to say, damn, she fine, out loud, and own that shit. That's the only difference between us and everybody else. We're just willing to say it. That doesn't mean we're some fucking fantasy character from a Tyler Perry movie. We're going to be the perfect romantic interest. We're still flawed. We're still, whatever, idiots and whatever. Like, we're not perfect.
Yeah,
So,
I'm far from perfect.
sure.
I mean, I still make mistakes. Don't get me wrong. This is definitely a part of myself. Yeah, I'm 30 years old, but every day I'm still growing and acknowledging. And how can I be better than yesterday? With
Absolutely.
being what's it called? What am I looking for? True self, my truth.
Mm-hmm.
It's there's look. Bottom line, is it easier to be DL? Yes, it is. Is it easier to not speak about your attraction and hide from that? Sure, it is. But at the end of the day, you're not being true to yourself, and you're only hurting yourself and the one that you love, the one that you're dating, if you are dating. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a constant. What?
I said there's a lot of women too. That image didn't hurt.
Yeah. It's definitely one. one of those things that you constantly have to work on with yourself. Because sadly to say, and growing up, it's taboo. It's or considered taboo, right? So
Hmm.
your whole life growing up in your Roman Catholic Italian family, that these type of women are, excuse me, and I'm going to trigger, and I apologize, but I'm just being real and spitting the facts, right? You're being told your whole 30 years that these women are men. So you build that stigma in the back of your head, or um, that fear of being with somebody who's trans, even though you're attracted to it. It's like, uh, d- don't drink Diet Coke because it rots your teeth, but it tastes so good. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
what I'm trying to say is, it's a constant battle, because sometimes you meet trans women and you're really attracted to them, and you guys just you vibe really well, right? But sometimes you have that fear in the back of your head, and it kind of goes into an old conversation that we had. Well, is she passable enough? Am I going to catch
Hmm.
shit for this? And that's a
Hmm.
constant battle, because honestly, at the end of the day, shouldn't matter. Shouldn't matter if
No.
she's passable or not.
No.
That's fuck that, right?
Hmm.
Sure, if she's passable, great. If not, who cares? If you have a connection with this
Hmm.
individual and you're vibing, and the chemistry's there, the sexual chemistry's there, and you want to make this work, go for it. Don't be afraid. Go for it. But
Absolutely.
there is that fear that you have to work on as an individual, as yourself, of that, well, they're not passable enough for me. So I'm just going to walk away from this because I don't want society and I don't want to deal with the bullshit. I get that. That's a fear. I have that fear sometimes, but then I have to remember who I am, what I stand for, and my beliefs, and take those things that are seeds that are planted, and I have to work through them and kind of push them aside and follow my heart, I guess.
Hmm.
I don't know if anybody's calling me
Well,
out. Let me
no,
see.
no, you're good, man. What I would say in addition to that is, really look. This goes no matter who you're dating.
Right.
Whoever, all they got to do is look good to me.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't nobody else got to find my girl attractive but me. If I
Sure.
like what I see in the morning, if I like the face I wake up to, that's all that should matter. If that is your girl, that's all that should matter.
All I have to say is,
And
before we're kissing, you got to brush your teeth first. That's the first thing in the morning.
there you go. There you
That's it.
go.
That's my number one rule.
Oh, I ain't got no rules like that. I take it as you are, especially in the morning. You're gonna get a vibe from me.
Oh,
But
hell yeah.
it's just one of those things, man. It's just like people lose. You can lose the love of your life over some stupid shit like does she pass? Because this
Yeah.
whole thing is getting yourself past the point where you give a fuck what other people think. You have to be of sound mind and sturdy enough to be like, I don't care what anybody says. I'm standing on this shit.
Yeah.
And it kind of ends up being like you make yourself an immovable object in a sense. No matter what winds blow, I'm here. I don't care what y'all can do, all whatever you want to. This is who I chose, and I'm with her, and I don't care what y'all say. And you better respect it because if you don't, it's gonna be smoke.
Yeah.
But that goes for everybody. It's a lot of these things extend beyond just dating trans women, really. But I
Sure.
want
Yeah.
to get to what this comment. Harmony says, I hate the amorous term. Fair enough. I understand. It's not everybody likes it. Um, and the
Years of
Leah says, "Oh, here comes Troy. Troy ain't coming. We good. Me and Troy is cool. Okay,
who's Troy?
from the group.
Okay.
Troy ain't coming. Um, Tracy says, I believe trans amorous indicates the man is interested in sharing a meaningful relationship with us, as opposed to just being attracted. That could mean they are attracted and afraid to act, per the earlier DL chat, or be chasers hell bent on hell bent on consuming anything remotely trans, even a pig with lipstick on.
Jesus.
Um, Johnny says it's single out even more and makes it one sided, like gay and straight. It's one sided. I'm assuming this is the trans amorous conversation still.
You know what I
Um,
find interesting as you're going through?
mhm.
Uh,
Oh wow. Well, we got plenty. We are so fucking behind on comments. I'm sorry,
yeah, we did.
y'all. I'm sorry.
I can't wait until our society, and it won't, but I'm waiting for the point that our society, and look, here's gonna be um, another trigger word and probably make me look like a piece of shit. Normally, Chris is the one being canceled, so I'm kind of going
Yeah.
for it tonight. Um,
It's a new year.
it's new year, new me. Um, so Japan, right? They're big on the what's the term they used? Yeah, hentai, or they.
Oh,
Oh,
hentai was like, bro, hentai was like I think that was like the number one and number two fucking that was up there, man. Hold
yeah,
on. Was it in here? No, it wasn't in here. It was in another one. But it was they were showing like the top search terms, and it was fucking crazy that like hentai was like number one or two. And I'm like, wait, what? Everybody's watching hentai now? Which, if you don't know what that is, that's anime porn.
yeah, it's anime porn. But also like hentai, trans porn. It seems like that is very much embraced over there. And
Mm-hmm.
also, look, this isn't a good term, but we all know it. I'm just going to say it. The ladyboy term in Japan, it seems like that is very embraced out there. I mean, I've never been to Japan, but I've seen enough YouTube videos and read enough of these videos and
The
seen
South
TikToks. Uh,
Southeast Asian.
so, yeah, that this type of things are embraced. So I feel like if our society and culture can kind of head in that direction and be more
It never will,
oh
because
no,
we have two different religions.
right,
So Christianity, they're not Christian over there. So they have a religion that allows space to accept different kinds of people. Obviously, they do have Christianities everywhere,
sure,
but the dominant religion shapes the culture, and dominant religion in America makes it so that it ain't gonna be the same. They're not looking at it the same. Now, we'll say in the Philippines, while there's plenty of them over there, um, they're heavy Christian in the Philippines,
yeah,
and they just live their lives like, well, they essentially society tells them, no, you're not a woman, you're a man, and they'll just say, okay, well, I'm just a man, but they'll be living out the trans experience, but in their society, being trans, there's no third slot for trans. You're male, and they don't have space for that. From what I've gathered, my conversations with individuals in the Philippines.
sure,
But I want to finish out these comments with talking about this trans amorous thing again, because thank you, Harmony, for asking that. And if anybody else has questions, we're always happy to just answer them straight up and just give our honest opinion. Obviously, it's just opinions here. It's what we think. Um, so, wow. Some minutes ago, Harmony said, I prefer trans attracted over trans amorous. In my opinion, trans attracted is more of an interest in relationships and possibly more. The trans amorous gives me fetish vibes.
I'm
When
gonna
you
step
look
away
at the
from you.
definition amorous, it describes, all right, feelings on a sexual level. Let's see here. Almond Milk says it's hard to know if a man is not relationship oriented at all, or if he's relationship oriented with trans women, but is relationship oriented with cis women. Yeah, I mean, really, that's just one of those things. Just in life. Period is deducing somebody's true intentions. It's you're not going to get it from a label. That's all. That's all I can tell you. You're not going to get it from a label. So if a guy says I'm trans amorous, you're gonna have to do some more digging and getting to know this person before you can truly, you know, uh, uh, come to a consensus on whether they're relationship oriented or not. Johnny says, if my label, what is my label? If I'm trans attracted and cis women attracted, that's what confuses me. Um, I don't know. I mean, I would just use the term trans attracted, and I think the term trans attracted is more of a catch all in a sense, because it's like I like women, but I also like these kinds of women in addition to cis women. So it's like it's just you still like women. It's just, oh yeah, but I like these two. Where some guys, who are, some of them telling the truth, most of them not, uh, may only like cis women. I don't know. That's how I kind of think of it.
So,
But wait, hold on. Wait. Oh, you wanted to talk about this one?
what is my label if I'm trans attracted and cis women attracted? That's what's confusing me. Well, you're straight.
Yeah.
That's it. What's confusing about it?
But now here's the thing:
I mean,
we're not here to dictate, because really, and I'm not saying that's what you were doing. But
oh yeah,
I've heard, I've read, I've heard some people, some comments about the show. We are not here to dictate
no,
to you guys what labels you should and shouldn't be using. We're just giving our opinions on what we think about these things, and hopefully, maybe our thoughts can get you to think about it so that you can come to a consensus on how you want to identify and where you want to land on this shit. So, yes,
yeah,
not a Tyler Perry film. That's right. Tyler Perry films have the what I like to call the magical romantic Negro, and it's always this guy who's perfect and he's gonna give you all the love, and he's the perfect person. He's the perfect man. Whether it's Shamar Moore or the fucking sheriff from Why Did I Get Married, like,
yeah.
saying you're trans doesn't automatically like, you shouldn't
No,
have those expectations if a
well,
guy says he's trans. That's what I'm saying.
that I don't know
It's
if I'm just
crazy.
being a grump tonight or because I'm being very straightforward on specific things, but like those questions always bother me. I like trans women and I like women. Does this make me straight? Yes. Unless you feel differently towards whatever, then yeah, if you identify as a straight male and you like trans women and you like cisgender women, then you are straight. But if you like trans women and if you like uh, cisgender women, but at times you may be attracted to men, okay, you could maybe fall in that category or being bi, or you can fall under the umbrella of identifying as some form of queer. That's not for me to tell you or give you that answer of how you identify and your sexual orientation. That is for you.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, we can coach, we can help and possibly guide you in the I don't want to say best direction, but a direction that would be more comfortable for you to identify in or categorize yourself in. But that ultimately comes down to you, what you identify as. So, I mean,
Absolutely.
those questions, it just irks me. Am I straight because I like trans women? Well, what do you want me to tell you? No. And then you're going to give me a whole paragraph on why you're straight and call me out. And no, that's not what I'm
the
here to
is
do.
it straight conversation? Yeah, that shit is nuts.
Yeah.
It always, but see, so that's a conversation. People are like, well, I'm tired of having the same conversations. I'm like, yo, as long as there's new people coming
Oh,
into
yeah,
the
yeah.
mix, we're always going to be talking about, is it gay? We're
Right.
always
Well,
going to
yeah.
be talking about sexuality and what is straight and trans attracted, and if you're bi or if you're pan or whatever, how you identify. That's always going to be an issue, as long as the dominant society creates absolutely zero room
Sure.
for men who find women of trans experience attractive. There's no room created for that at all. So it's always going to be a question because the society we live in informs us that no, you're not, and we're like, but I don't feel any different. I am just me. I don't think I'm gay or bisexual or I don't like hairy ass men. Like what the fuck? So
But
it's just
also, too, I want to throw something out there, and I don't know if this is something that you advocate towards, Chris, um, or ever experience. Look, it's okay to um, experiment with your sexuality. Obviously, I feel like uh, sexuality is on such a spectrum,
mm-hmm.
and I mean, look, it can go in 1,001 directions. It's okay to be attracted to trans women, watch transgender porn, sure, if that's your forte. But then maybe you start off in this category and you start jumping into femboys, and then maybe you find yourself watching um, gay porn. That doesn't mean you're gay. And I don't know if you've ever had these conversations, and
No, it's
it's
I've had these conversations, um, and especially after I mean the reality of the situation is, and that's another side of it is what you watch as porn really doesn't have a lot of bearing in terms of
right.
your actual in real life sexuality.
Sure. Yeah.
And by means, feel free to research this. This in terms of the published reports by professionals that have been published that I've read. What you watch on porn, it from what they've gathered, the surveys, the research they've done, it really doesn't inform what happens in real life. So yeah, all of that junk. I mean, there's women that watch lesbian porn, but they're not banging other women.
I
Like,
guess I
so
guess
whatever.
I guess what I'm trying to say is don't put yourself down, because if you
Yeah.
may have or may
Yes.
catch yourself following or not following but jumping from category to category, uh, nothing's wrong with that. And I'm 30 years old saying that. I
Mhm.
just turned 30. You know, there's it's nothing wrong with that,
Yeah.
because I've had people ask me those questions,
Mm.
and especially trans women. Oh, have you ever watched gay porn before? Yeah.
Hmm.
So, oh, how do you feel about it? Doesn't that make you feel gay? No. Well, it's all about, I guess, the thrill, right? I'm trying to.
I just
This is
can't
getting off
imagine
topic.
interrogating somebody or trying to like figure out
Yeah.
like why are you asking to what end? What does this have to do with you, person I'm not fucking?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah. Do
why
you
do
want to
you want to
watch?
know
Do
so
we?
bad? But essentially, men, this whole journey to go from DL to being living in your truth and all this other, this is all a journey of self discovery. So if you want to sample different things and explore your sexuality, by all means, do that shit. Society, men should be a lot more free than they typically feel in this area. There are a lot of guys who just, men, being a man, you're trapped in a prism. You don't get to explore yourself sexually. You don't get to explore your sexuality. There is no, oh, well, I was just trying it out. No. If somebody says, oh, I tried out something with another guy once. No, people, essentially, you're gay forever. Whereas, how we view sexuality in women, oh, she just went through a phase when she was a lesbian in college,
Sure.
and it's just a phase. There's no harm, no hurt, no harm, no foul, and it's just like, I mean, go for it. I'm just saying, figure out who you are, what you like, and be true to yourself.
But don't abuse people in the process. Don't mess with people's heads, because that is
Absolutely.
mental health is real, and
Hmm.
that's not a good thing to do.
Hmm.
I mean, I may come off as a dick or whatever, but come on, let's be nice to people's minds.
Absolutely.
I'm very interested in what Tracy just said, uh,
Okay.
and
Give me
and
a second. I want to jump to before we get off the porn subject.
okay,
Uh, with Ty, she says, "I wish trans attraction didn't start out with porn for most men. And, really, I just have to explain in some scenarios why this happens. At least this was the case with me, and I know it's the case for so many other people.
Sure.
It's all about proximity.
Yeah.
If there are no trans people in your world, if it doesn't seem accessible to you, it's gonna be that. You're getting into this in a way that's really kind of indirect, low risk. It isn't like you're going out and banging a bunch of prostitutes, right off the bat. But for the majority of people who don't live in these large metropolitan areas, that's what it is. And even for some of them that are there, that's what it is. It's their way to kind of sample, a soft way to sample into their sexuality. But even if that's where they come from, it's fine. It's all about evolution. Do not stall out in your growth. So it's not about where you start, it's about where you end up. As very wise words I got from a successful man while I was interning at NASA.
Oh, hell yeah. NASA? Fuck yeah.
Now hold on a second. Ooh. Oh, dang, Tracy. All right.
Yeah.
Tracy on it, y'all. Wait. Oh, what's up, Dion? All right. John Jukes. Yeah, the religion thing. Y'all got to understand, I read these comments because there are people listening on audio platforms, so they can't see it. So Tracy says, I am not letting anyone call me a man or ladyboy in any language or on any continent. And that's fine. I think cultural context is a thing, where some names, some traditions might be fine one place, it's not fine another place. And I totally get that. Let's see here. Tracy, the nanosecond you start doing anything that denotes attractions to femboys, I am not the one for you. That is neither judgment nor character assassination. Just me doing what is right for me. And then self-discovery is one thing. And self-discovery is one thing and is part of one's journey. So which comment did you want to zero in on?
The nanosecond.
One part. I've had it. Do you think, man?
So what is it? It's a nanosecond. You start denotes attraction to femboys. Okay, so I don't know if I'm not comprehending your statement. That is neither judgment nor character. Okay. Now, I get what you're saying. Yeah.
So essentially, if and now this isn't just a Tracy thing, I've heard this with a few other individuals.
Yeah.
I've heard some people talk about this, and to the men, listening to this is a thing with some of the women out there. So they essentially have a high aversion to men who find anything attractive about feminine men, femboys, whatever, cross dressers, anything like that. Anything that any individual that does not denote themselves as trans, they do not find that attractive and really find that as a deal breaker. And all I can say to you guys is be true to yourself. Be true to yourself, be true to yourself, be true to yourself. And there's no need to fake the funk just to get somebody, so that's really, my advice to guys. I've known some people where, hey, they were interrogated in a sense, and the guy's like, well, I mean, there might be some here and there, whatever, but
Sure.
It's one of those things where, hey, sexuality is fluid, and for some people it can't be that fluid, and for some people it can be. So everybody has different levels of tolerance and different things, and I'll leave it at that. But what I will say, guys, is be true to yourself. Don't fake the funk. In order to keep anybody around, you have to be true to yourself. Tell the truth. Don't lie.
Chris, I do have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And this is something that I was talking to this one girl before,
mm-hmm.
and she brought up this question. she said, okay, you're attracted to trans women, right? Because of whatever. Whatever. But you're also attracted to cisgender women. You consider yourself straight, but do you, how does she put it? Essentially, she was saying she doesn't believe men are quote unquote straight because they're attracted to trans women and also cisgender, but she believes they are more on the pansexual scale.
Hmm.
Do you think trans attracted men, do you think we could fit into that category, or do you think we belong in that category? Why or why not?
Um, all I can say is the ones who identify as pansexual do, and the ones who don't. That's all I can really say on that junk. People try like we I think we started out this conversation talking about that gynophilia, whatever the fuck.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
I
yeah,
mean,
yeah,
people are really trying to understand and explain this, but they're doing it in a way where they're trying to force men into a box so that there's a place that we have to be. We have to like this. We have to be like this because that's what trans attracted men. You're this and you don't do that. And it's like, no, the world isn't
yeah,
that simple. Sexuality isn't that simple. And dictating to other people what their sexuality is definitely the wrong move. So, you get this from a lot of some of the girls where they try and tell men, no, you're bisexual, you're not straight, or you are straight and no, you're not bisexual. Look, in the same way that, this was who was this ask? This is a cis woman asking that?
no, a trans woman was asking
Okay,
that.
well, look, I'll just say for trans women out there or anybody in LGBT, essentially, you have to learn how to respect how other people identify the same way you want people to respect how you identify. That's
Yeah,
it. You can't be running around trying to force, your own definitions on other people or definitions that make you comfortable on other people. That's ridiculous. It's wrong. And it's hypocritical as fuck.
yeah,
So, but girls, they feel empowered to do this because, we know more than men. We're this. And I'm like, how the fuck do you know more about my sexuality than me? It's my sexuality. The fuck do you know about it? The hell do you know about being a man? Like, I'm a man. This is my experience. We go through different things. We live differently. Like, I guess it's just like people having the gall to like try and define another group sexuality and be like, no, you're this, no, you're that. It's just like, nah, dude, this is my shit. I'ma lay it out how I feel.
yeah.
So there are there are men who describe themselves as pansexual. There are. I mean, I've had them on my show, and there are others that don't. So I think for the ones who, I think there are plenty of men who call themselves trans attracted, but there's no way that you know um, men will ever be their thing. It'll never be their go to something that oh wow, like they're never gonna look at the guy next to him and be like, man, ooh wee, he's hot. I would. That's why. Like, there's just plenty of guys that would never do that shit, and there are some that would. And in that vein, it maybe pansexual fits, but like I said, people got to figure the shit out for themselves. You know, it's you got to figure the shit out. It's part of this self discovery journey.
You know, and I'll kind of talk to you off air about
Mhm.
this one thing. But right now I'm going through a fuck it, whatever. We've talked about all kinds of shit.
Okay,
Um,
let's get
the only
wrong
reason
with
why
it.
I'm trying to tiptoe around what I'm saying is because I'm talking to a girl right now who watches the show.
Oh,
Yeah. So I'm not trying to
it's fine. Ain't
present
nobody gonna pick one
myself.
out over another.
You what?
I said, ain't nobody gonna pick one person out over another.
No, 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 no. I'm not trying to present myself in an unrealistic way. I am
Yeah.
being, these are my actual views and opinions, so on and so forth. Um, So right now, I don't know if it's just my internal clock. I don't. Men have internal clocks, right? I don't know exactly what it is, but I always say I'm more. Yes, I'm straight, right? I'm attracted to trans women, and I'm attracted to cisgender women, but I'm more attracted to trans women. Like I feel more comfortable dating, more comfortable sleeping, being
Hmm.
romantically involved with a trans woman than I am for whatever reason with a cisgender woman. Um, but and I realized that before I met my ex-wife because there was a point where had an opportunity of sleeping with a cisgender woman, and I was either so in my head of my attraction towards trans women and constantly being um unfortunately consumed by the porn industry that it kind of messed one head wouldn't work with the other. So after that,
Hmm.
that was kind of um I stopped sleeping with cisgender women until I got my shit straightened out. But where I'm at right now is my internal clock is ticking. I think like I'm more um is do I want to say envy cisgender women right now that they're able to carry, and I kind of look at them almost in jealousy type of way
Hmm.
because I want this amazing girl I'm now I'm just using this as an example. This amazing girl, we're dating, she's trans, she's everything that I hope and dream and want.
Hmm.
But I'm kind of jealous that I see this woman walk in front of me and she's able to have kids, and that's why it's
Hmm.
kind of it fucks with me a little bit, because it's like these are my attractions and this is who I like and this is who I'm with. But like I want them to be able to carry at times. Now it's not all the time, but it's just like I don't know how to explain it. Like I said, I don't
Well,
know if that's just the internal clock saying, "Hey, you're 30, you don't have any kids. Let's get on it." You know what I mean?
yeah, it's essentially it's the decade hitting you. Because there's another guy that I talked to, and he said, "Man, I'm in 30," and it's like, yo, when you hit those decades, it's always a great time to be introspective, look at what you accomplished, look at what you want to get done in your 30s, where you're. It's always a great time to take stock. But
Yeah,
another the on the other side of that as well is what you want is what you want, and what I want has never changed since I started dating. I've always wanted a family. I've always
yeah,
wanted kids. I want that family life. While I can be liberal on a lot of things, I was raised. I'm just a very traditional person in the sense that wife, house, kids, family is important. Family is everything.
yeah.
And what I'm saying is, where there's a will, there's a way.
Sure. Oh yeah.
Essentially,
And
in my
and
younger days, hold a second. I had my sister was my
yeah,
volunteer surrogate for me.
yeah,
She was on standby. Now it just I never found anybody. When she was available, and at this point, I still want at least one child that's mine biologically, and I'm still shooting for it. Does that
right.
mean I'm gonna have to save up for surrogacy or get some sort of financing for it? Probably, but I'm going to fucking do it. That doesn't mean just because I'm with a trans woman doesn't mean I can't have what I want. Is it a harder road? Yes, but let's be real. All of us knew, and this isn't just the child thing. This is just in general. We did not take the easiest path travel.
No.
The easiest path would be to just swallow our happiness, die a little bit inside, and just date cis women, and never really acknowledge what we really want out of life, and just be unhappy. But we chose to step up and take a path less traveled that is going to have, it's going to be a little bit more difficult in some regards. But that doesn't mean it's impossible. You want it, you can have it. That's what I'm saying. Whether it's, I mean, adoption is a thing, and I understand guys want biological kids. You're 30, you're young enough, you can make it happen. Bro, you can save for 5 years and boom, you know, you're on you're on the surrogacy track.
Oh,
yeah, being a dad at 35 happens. So what? You can do it.
Yeah. Yeah. So I mean, look, is this something that is constantly in the back of my head? No, but it's just one of those things where, like, I was at the barbershop today and a pregnant woman walked in and I was just like, man, I want that. I want that. I want to. Now, what's stopping me from going out and getting that? Nothing. I'm sure, I can do the deed just as much as you or any other guy. But it's like, I guess I haven't pursued those avenues because would I be just as happy with a cisgender woman spending my life with a cisgender female the same way I would be with spending my life with a trans woman? So it's right now, that's I guess not a battle, but question that I'm working through myself. So if the question if the answer is yes over here and yes over here, then I should go do it, right? But like right now, it's I'll be happy as a clam spending the rest of my life with a trans woman, but I don't know if I would feel the same way spending the rest of my life with a cisgender woman. Like, I'm attracted to them.
Yeah.
I would date them, but it's like, that's where I'm at right now, which is really weird. It's a weird place.
I mean, I would say the way that I looked at it, the way I evaluated that in my mind is, which one of these two could I do without for the rest of my life?
Right.
And that for me is cis women. And that's, just sexual physicality in that sense. Because, the soul, when you meet somebody, there's a soul connection. That shit doesn't, that shit transcends cis or trans. But, really for me, look, if I just said, fuck it, I'm going to go marry a cis woman, what I'm going to do is I'm going to be as happy as I can with that cis woman for as long as I can. But eventually, I'm going to want something that she doesn't have.
Yeah.
And I'll never want something that my trans wife won't have. Like, I'm doing that for me in terms of long-term success. I don't ever want to be in a situation where I'm craving something that I don't have access to.
Sure. Yeah.
And I don't, there's no way I wouldn't want, that in the long run. I will probably end up cheating, but with a trans woman, I would never have that craving in that same way for a cis woman, for a vagina in that way. So that's just me.
Yeah. No, yeah. Disclosure, man.
Yeah. I mean, this shit right here, this is a conversation that we don't have because most guys are really afraid to have that conversation. You don't want to piss off people, trigger people, all that junk. But this shit's real. Men think about this shit.
If you're not triggering anybody, you're not doing anything right. If everybody is on the same agreement level and everybody, like, then nothing is being changed or nothing is being accomplished. But if people are feeling offended, that means you're breaking down certain walls and you're bringing up topics that are making people uncomfortable. And I'm sorry you feel that way, but these are topics that should be talked about.
The shit is real. The shit is real. But I promise you this much. I have always set out to, I want to create a happy family with a trans woman. And, the woman that's for me is a woman that I could look at and say, damn, I want her to be the mother of my children. I want her to raise my kids. I want her to be my wife forever.
Yeah.
But on top of that, I still, obviously, with saying that means I still want kids, and I'm going to have them, and I'm going to do whatever it takes to get them. So does that mean taking a year off from going on big trips just to save up money? Sure.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, surrogacy is not cheap, especially if you don't have a volunteer or anybody to help you out. Like that shit can get up to like 100,000, bro. Like I'm in a few Facebook groups, for men who are seeking surrogacy and asking questions, and people sharing their news and all that. Like I've been doing a fair amount of research on it, bro.
Oh wow.
But it's possible. There's people having kids through surrogacy all the time. There are agencies everywhere for that shit. Everywhere in the country, outside the country, it's big business.
So having this conversation has kind of opened some perspective for me, and uh, it's helping me realize something. So thank you. Um, so my ex-wife was trans or is trans, right?
Mm-hmm.
And we divorced. Yeah, I mean it fucking killed me. But having this conversation and kind of walking through that process of how I made it feel, because you talked about like wanting to spend your life with somebody who's like a trans female and building a
Mm-hmm.
family. Yeah, yeah. So when I married my ex-wife, I hit the lottery, right? I married someone who I thought was absolutely beautiful. She's trans. She had it all. But one of the things that killed me, and now that's what I'm realizing, is my fear of I'm not going to have what I want ever again. And what I mean is I'm not going to be able to find another trans woman that I'm attracted to on whatever godly level that I was on a unhealthy level. And it was that, oh, I'm never going to have this again.
Oh,
I'm
this
never
is
going to have
after
that
the divorce. That was the
this is
fear.
after the
Okay.
divorce. Yeah.
Okay.
And I was stupid for feeling that way.
Mm-hmm.
And because my ex-wife isn't the only trans woman in the whole fucking universe. There's
Mm-hmm.
billions, trillions out there. I don't really know the statistic, and I'm not trying to
Yeah.
I'm not trying to speak as if they're here's the one of the week. No, but
Nah.
it's I want to feel that love again, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking to someone, and I'm not saying this because we're talking, and I know you're watching. That yeah, we've and she just texted me. Yeah, we're having conversations already of okay, you want kids. She presented me with a deal. You want kids?
Mm-hmm.
You have to move to Corpus Christi because she wants those kids to grow up with her nephews and she wants all the cousins to be together. But if you don't want kids, I'll move to wherever with you.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like a oof. Ooh, that's a hard one. That's
Well,
a hard
okay.
one.
First off, it's very early.
I
So,
know.
we're going to bend. There will be some bending
Yeah.
on that shit at some point, man. Like,
Yeah.
I get
Oh,
everybody has their dream and their vision, and nobody wants their kids to grow up without knowing their family.
true.
Nobody wants their kids to grow up
Very
in a
true.
situation where their family are strangers. But
Right.
that's when you send the kids down. All right, it's summer vacation. See ya.
Yeah.
Go on down with your family in Corpus Christi. We'll see you. We'll see you in August, champ. Have fun. Like I'll send some money. Like it's
That's terrible.
well, I mean,
No,
kids
but I
do
mean,
that. Like you spend the summer at grandma's house.
what I'm saying is, I'm talking to this girl, and she scares the fuck out of me, and not because of like I'm gonna beat you up or anything, but it's like I'm getting these feelings again that I
Mm-hmm.
haven't had in such a long time,
Mm-hmm.
and it's like, man, this is addicting. I kind of want to follow this and see where it goes, but it's like, we both have been hurt before, so we're kind of treading lightly. But it's I don't know. She seems like she's a cool person.
Yeah, that's
I
dope,
think you
man.
might have talked to her at one point, but who knows?
It's possible.
Yeah, but I don't know where I was going with this. I kind of lost
Well,
my
did we
train of
do it?
thought.
We did a stream together. Did we do a stream together or no?
No, 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 no,
Oh, okay.
no.
Well, we'll figure out how I know this person then. But yeah, dude, you know what? People go through this shit all the time.
Yeah.
And I was in a similar situation but I had to be determined that I will not let my ex and the bullshit that she put me through
Yeah. Dictate my
to,
life.
I'm not going to let her ruin this for me.
Oh, hell no.
She's not going to win. In this instance, she's not going to take this away from me. I am going to love authentically. I am going to trust, and I am going to go for it. I am going to pursue my happiness. So it's just, you got. I just think you just got to be determined about it, bro. She's not. Don't let that shit get in the way. Embrace it fully. Love is rare, man. It's some
Oh,
people that go their whole lives with no real love.
So we met last year, and
Mm-hmm.
then we stopped talking because I met somebody else who you met,
Mm-hmm.
and unfortunately, I mean not unfortunately, but whatever the case is, that it didn't work out. Which is fine. Things don't work out for a reason, and it's nobody's fault. It is what it is. But then I noticed that Samantha, she friend zoned me, and I was like, "What the fuck? Why'd you do that?" And I was like, I called her out on it, and she was straight up, and she told me why. And I was like, "Dude, I respect that." And then we just started talking more, and I mean, now it's like a everyday thing that we talk, and it's just, long story short, she's coming up 27th through the 28th from Corpus, and I'm
Cool.
super excited. So
That's
yeah.
what's up. What
Oh yeah.
up? What up, cuz? What up, big cuz? That's my cousin.
Oh, what's up?
Jumping in the show. We call him Dimples.
Dimples.
I'm from a southern country tribe, so there's people from the south. Every cousin got a name, that ain't their name. So this is one of them things. Let's see. Women are beautiful, incredible. Women are incredible, absolutely. But bro, man, look, I wish you the greatest of luck. And ladies and men out there, like, this is the shit that's happening. And it happens all the time. Like, guys are really going for it. They're looking for love. There are plenty of guys that are serious about this shit. And
Yeah.
they're not just out here to fuck one girl this week and fuck another girl next week and do all this fucking, be the quote trade.
Look, you want the truth? Here's the truth. All I want, like you said, is love. I just want to be able to um, place my head on your breast as you rub the back of my head and hold me close, and just me asking how the hell I can simp for you. I'm whatever. I'm just going to say that. How can I simp for you? Just give me head scratches, and once in a while tell me I'm a strong boy or something. I don't fucking know, but just, that's all I want. Just hold me close, tiny dancer, and let me simp for you. That's all I want, bottom line.
Oh.
And I hate the stigma behind men. It's not good to simp. Whatever. Don't be a simp.
No. Hold on. First off, it is not good to simp, but you can't simp for a girl if she's your girl.
Right.
It ain't simp. You can't. You can't simp for your own girl. That don't even make sense.
I mean,
Simping is bad, but if that's your girl, then it ain't simping.
look, when I say when I say that, what I mean is, I want to do everything and anything for you. I don't care. You want 12 Big Macs? Fuck. I want 12 Big Macs. Let me go get it. When, how, why, I'll do it. I don't care. I know that's wrong, and that is causes shift in power, whatever that means, and people look
Only
at you.
idiots worry about that shit.
Right.
The
But
immature people worry about that crap.
I'm gonna do everything for you. I'm a puppy that just wants love, and just hug me and give me head scratches, like I said, and hold me close, and I'll do whatever you ask. I don't care. That's how I was raised and watched my father doing everything and anything for my mother. No matter what it was, he did it and he got it done because he loved her. and he wanted to make sure that she felt appreciated and loved and had everything that she needed. Now, to a certain extent, I learned when that becomes toxic and you don't do that, right?
Yeah.
Now there's a line, but
Oh, yeah.
I just want to stand as close to that line, let my toes hang over, and just, like I said, do whatever for you. So,
But man, it's always a good thing when you're both in service to each other.
oh yeah,
You're
absolutely,
both trying to do when you're both trying to do for each other, you're not sitting there worried about power dynamics and who's got the power and who's in charge and blah blah blah.
yeah,
All that stupid shit. You should just be looking to do for each other. So
hmm
if that's where you at, you good.
yeah.
And if you stay there, you'll still be good. On side note, Tracy, I'm gonna need you to get off of my stream and stop playing games on my stream. This is not an okay message. Um, in no way, shape, or form is this an approved message of the Men Like Us podcast. It is simping if you got it. It is tricking if you got it. This conversation is over. And
God,
this is on that subject.
yeah. Look, the type of love that I want, and
Mm-hmm.
Tracy, thank you. Yeah,
Um,
it's Dom.
yeah.
Um, I want the type of love to where we're both sitting on the white porch. We're peeing out of a bag in the side of that's hanging off the side of us, and you just stare at me with those white, yellow filled cataract eyes. And we're so in love that you don't even remember my name. You just call me the nice man. Like, that's the type of love that I want. And,
You want the Notebook?
is that it?
Seen that?
I've
Seen
honestly
that
never
one?
seen The Notebook. Never
Oh
seen it. I mean, I've
man,
seen memes like,
don't watch
"What do
it.
you want?"
Don't watch it.
Don't
It's
watch it.
it's. I have only seen it once. I will not watch it again because when I saw it many moons ago, almost 20 years ago, I cried. It was a very moving story to me.
That's okay.
I don't want to do nothing. I'm good.
All
I'm
right. So,
good.
is it
We ain't watching it again. Oh
is the love story worse than Titanic, or
no, that shit's real though. That shit's real.
what's
That's
real? Titanic?
no. The Notebook. That shit hits because it's a situation where one person, these people really like each other, but society, their parents ain't really trying to let it happen,
Yeah.
and it's one of those situations. So, and it has an absolutely beautiful ending, which is something
Look,
very similar to what you painted.
everybody
So,
knows the greatest love story of all time is Ghost with Patrick Swayze and Demi Moore.
oh
Okay,
really?
that's my number one go-to. Hey, girl,
What?
you want to watch a romantic movie? Yeah, pop this
Ghost?
on. Ghost.
Damn. Now I'm trying to think because I ain't really into the romantic movies, bro. I don't even
Either
know.
that or God, what was that terrible Nicholas Sparks movie? But it's a guilty pleasure. It's got Zac Efron in it. The Lonely One. I don't know. Hold
Zac
on.
Efron's pretty cool.
He is pretty cool, but
Pretty cool dude.
uh,
Oh yeah, Love and Basketball is a good one. Love and Basketball is a good. I think Love. I'm not saying that's like, oh, that's my favorite, but I'm just trying to. I don't watch very many romantic movies. So I'm just like,
oh yeah, it's called The Lucky One. Sorry, yeah, it's called The
uh,
Lucky One. All right,
Tracy, you and your
here it is.
boyfriend have fun watching. What movie did you say again? Ghost.
Ghost.
Yeah, y'all have fun watching that one. Just make sure he doesn't fall out and become a ghost watching that movie. Nah, they're gonna come get
$5
me.
million. What is Hopi yell? $5 million with the
Who?
Whoopi Goldberg.
Oh, Whoopi. Yeah. Hey, that's right. Whoopi's in that movie. I
Yeah.
love Whoopi
Yep.
Goldberg.
All right, so
Love Whoopi Goldberg.
I got it right here. I'm going
All right.
to. I'm gonna rent.
Watch
The
the
Notebook.
Notebook.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. Oh, she said watching the Notebook. Well, good luck with that one as well. Yeah, I thought it was a good movie.
And everybody knows Water for Elephants was just a ripoff of The Notebook. We all know that. Right?
I don't watch rom coms or romantic. I don't do any of that junk, bro. I'm sci-fi action dude over here. So
Look, I'm gonna
sports
be
movies.
a walk to remember. City of Angels. Look, I'm going to be real with you. I needed a good, and I'm man enough to say this. All right, and
You need a
judge
good
me.
cry.
Oh, dude, I needed such a good cry because I was
Yeah,
just feeling down about myself.
yeah.
I sat on the couch with my dog and I watched Marley and Me.
Ooh, I heard about that one.
Cried my eyes out. And I looked at my dog and I was like, I hate you right now.
Damn.
But like in a good way. Blazing Saddles, Jesus. Um,
That's a good one of those
yeah.
comedy movies.
But yeah, that's
But yeah, look, ladies and fellas, really just the ladies. Like, I just got to rubber stamp this again and again. There are plenty of good dudes out here searching, looking for something real. I'm not saying we're the majority of guys that y'all encounter. I'm just saying this shit's real. We're out there in small town America, in big cities, whatever. There are men looking for something with substance.
oh my
It's
god.
something that's more depth than just a sexual fling, and if that's what you want, definitely approach with that, because I don't know about you, dude, but I've been put off by quite a few that their conversation started as, "Hey daddy," blah 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 blah, and I'm
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
the
yeah.
fuck.
Uh,
What?
I just wanted to point out
Mm-hmm.
Dion. How do you pronounce her name? Dion.
I'm going with Dion here.
Dion. Okay, that's my number one rule. Look, I will not put a rock on your finger. I will not put a rock on your finger unless you sit down and watch the original Star Wars trilogy.
Ooh.
I have a life-size Yoda that currently sits in my living room.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I've showed you, Chris. If not, I'll send you a picture. Star Wars is life. I got my Star Wars books. I got. Say what you want, okay? Star Wars is
Oh yeah, that
everything.
movie.
So that is an awesome comment. You win the internet for today.
There
That's a
you have
perfect
it.
date. 101.
You know what? My girlfriend has never seen Star Wars ever,
All
and
right, get on it. Go
I've
watch it.
started the whole nerd thought process of, well, how do we go 1 through 9? Do we go 4 through 6? 1, 3, 7, 9? Do we add in movies like Rogue One or some of the TV shows to fill in the time between some of these movies? Or, I'm just like, man, how deep do we go? Like, even if we stick it to the movies, it's like, what do we do? But that's some nerd shit. I know that's not what we're really here to do.
Yeah,
But
that's shit that I talk about on my show.
yeah, that's what we talk about on Dom's stream. We nerd
Yeah.
out on his shit,
Yeah.
have our fun over there. But yeah, like, oh yeah, guess who's coming to dinner? The one with Bernie Mac, that was pretty solid. I'm not gonna lie. I love the Mac man.
By the way, I just want to touch on something that's off topic that you said earlier.
Mm-hmm.
Medea Homecoming was terrible. I was so disappointed with that. I'm just throwing that out there.
Medea Homecoming.
This is the
I've seen
Netflix.
that one.
Tyler Perry made it during
Yeah.
COVID because
Well, I mean,
felt
he got
there was
like
a need.
a fucking contract with Netflix. You got to deal with them to make a bunch of movies, and all of his movies were awful.
Yeah.
People they were wearing cheap ass wigs, half cocked to the side. It was a mess. Like, essentially, he made a bunch of Tubi movies for Netflix. So the Medea movies have been shit after Family Reunion, really, in my mind. But I still got some of the plays on DVD. I just like the old shit. It is what it is. All right, Johnny. I'm just wondering if that would affect how you feel about a trans woman if you were with her for years and she has bottom surgery. Would you leave her?
No. Absolutely not. Look,
There you go.
what you do with your body, that's on you. And me as your man, just because, yes, I mean, I see men leave cis women after breast removal. Well, that's because they're materialistic.
Oh, when women get mastectomies, right?
Right. Look, okay. We had this question asked on your one show. I'm sorry that I'm taking away.
No, we did this before. Go for it.
Yes, I'm attracted to trans women. Yes, I'm just going to say it. Trans women have penises. Not all trans women have penises, but 95% of them have penises. And if I'm with you and I've fallen for you, the penis isn't everything. Having that is not everything.
Hmm.
But if we're together and you decide, look, how do you feel if I get bottom surgery? My dear, if that's what you want, then I am 100% behind you and I'm there supporting you. If that's what you truly want and you feel that validates you even more as a woman and that is your end goal and that's what you need for yourself, for your own mental health and your own happiness is to have bottom surgery, then let's do it. Let's find the right people. Let's talk to the right doctors. Let's get um, what's it called? Let's do our research. Let's see what we need to do to make you feel the most authentic self and the most comfortable as yourself. It doesn't matter. I'm not, and if I'm at a point to where we're married, our connection has far more gone past than just sexual
Hmm.
chemistry. Now we're binded, our souls are together, and it doesn't matter because when you
Yeah.
love somebody and you it's almost the same question is, well, look, I'm diabetic, so I have to lose a foot. Are you going to leave me? Because no, what? I'm not married to your foot. As same thing. I'm not married to your penis.
Yeah,
I'm married to you
exactly.
and your soul. It is what it is. Look,
Yeah.
and it may take some time. I'm not going to lie. It may take some time to adjust, and we can learn what works and what doesn't work in the bedroom. And it's going to. I'm just. Uh, I'm going to tell you now, and realistically, it's going to be frustrating, and it's going to be. There's going to be arguments, but you know what? We work through them together, and we figure it out, and we continue to love each other and have each other's back, and go from there.
Hmm.
So just because you have bottom surgery, no, I'm not leaving you
There
because you
you go.
have bottom surgery. There it is. So
And really, if you're having the right conversations, it's never going to be a surprise that this is happening. Like it isn't like, oh, you just sprung it on me now. You probably have had these conversations and getting to know each other by the time you get married. Probably understand where the goal line is for your girl in terms of what she
right.
wants to do, what are her aspirations, all that kind of stuff. Like you should kind of already know this before should figure this thing out. But yeah, no, bro, I'm with you on that 110%. And only a fool would throw a woman away, a good woman away like that. If
Yeah.
you've built this soul bond and you are in love and you are a unit, you've made a covenant before God, all those things. Um, you know, nah, it's going to be it could be I'm not saying that makes it. I'm sorry, I am not saying that makes everything. I'm not guaranteeing everything's going to be easy,
Right.
but you're definitely not throwing this woman away for this one reason. Like that's absolutely ridiculous. But on the flip side, ladies, y'all have to be understanding of the man. You have to be understanding the fact that men have to make an adjustment as well. And it isn't just you because if you're married, you're with somebody, it's the both of y'all.
Right.
Everything is the both of y'all. So this whole, my body, my thing, and I don't care what no man says, and you have to be considerate of your partner.
Also,
And you
too,
have to think about how things affect them as well. And, just move forward and thinking about that, I guess.
to to
I'm not saying cancel it. That's not what I'm saying.
to the men out there too. I'm going to piggyback off that.
Hmm.
Um, uh, be patient, right? Because don't. It is your job as the partner or whatever to have your woman's back and to support her no matter what, right?
Hmm.
Do not, how can I say this? Do not leave that decision up to you. If she asks, hey, I want to get bottom surgery, should I do it? Don't just give her a yes. Don't force her to do anything she doesn't want to do, because my
Mm-hmm.
ex-wife wanted a surgery, and then she didn't want the surgery, and then she wanted a surgery, and then we started a research, and then we started procedures to head towards that way, and then she didn't want to do it. It's not our job to say, "Hey, pick one. You want this or you don't." Don't do that. Be
Yeah.
patient,
Yeah.
and if you're asked about opinions, or you know, do you think, don't just I think I
Mm-hmm.
know what I'm trying to say, but I don't I don't know if I'm making sense.
I
But
mean, I think I get you where it's just men shouldn't have, we shouldn't take part in the decision itself, you know.
right.
We shouldn't
Right.
play any part in
It's
it.
good. It's good to have that
Um,
conversation. If you
hmm
want to have that conversation with me, like, hey,
yeah.
this is what I'm thinking about doing. You know,
hmm
should I do it? Well, then we'll play the 10 questions. How would you feel
Yeah.
if you had this? How would you feel if you didn't have this? Okay, right now you're able to do X, Y, and Z. Now, when you
hmm
have the surgery, you won't be able to do X, Y, and Z. How does that make you feel? Is this necessary, or is this not necessary to have? Like,
Yeah.
let's see what works best for us. Let's see what works best for you. And
hmm
at the end of the day, if this is, like I said, an absolute 100% want and need,
hmm
then I'm there. Let's do it. Let's do our research and find out how we can get this done for you. And yeah, I mean, that's the way I see things.
Now I'm going to be, I'm the villain because, you know, it's eventually I'm going to get myself canceled. So, you know, really, I think this is something that really needs to be talked about as early as possible. And I'm not saying first date, but I'm saying this is the get to know you phase kind of shit. The get to know you phase is, hey, where are the goalposts for you? What are your plans? What are your aspirations? And for the guy, hey guy, what, like, help me understand your attraction a lot more. What would you be open to? What wouldn't you be open to? What do you want? What don't you want? And it isn't like you're making your decision your decision to get the surgery based on that, but it really does come down to a compatibility situation as well, because I do want to create space for the men who just say, hey, you know what, I don't like that, I'm sorry, it's just not my thing, and I prefer not to do that. And I'm not saying that this is the conversation you're having after you got married, because I feel like it's kind of too late for the guy to be for the guy to be very clear in terms of, hey, this is what I like, this is what I don't like. And there are men who have had experience with women who were already post-op. They've done it, and this isn't like oh well, I don't know what it is. I guess we'll try. Let's see. There are men that are just very much dead set against it. Like, you know what? I tried it. I don't want to do it again. I'm not
Yeah.
interested in that. I don't like it. I prefer not to do that, and that's just what it is. So there is that group of guys who really just, they're not with it. In that sense, they're just not attracted to that. And, you know, obviously on their part, they need to be having that conversation to figure out what does she want to do, or if that is something that's in the cards for her or not. And on the other side, hey, is it in the cards for you if I do switch? Because for a lot of people, genitals are important. I know it's fucked up. And I'm talking about on the front end when you're trying to figure out, are we compatible? If if you're out on your fifth, you've been talking to a guy for a month, and then you figure out, oh well, hey, we're just not compatible, but hey, we could be friends and be cool. Then so be it. You know, keep it moving. Don't lie. Don't misrepresent. Like, everybody needs to be honest and authentic. But I just have to put that out there that there are just some people that they know what they want, they know what they don't want, and it isn't like oh well, I've never tried it, but I'm really into dick. So I just don't even want to try it. No, there's other people that they've been there, done that, and they're just like, nah, I would prefer not to do this again. Now, not everybody is created equal. Not everybody offers the same experience, but I have to put that into this ether
Yeah.
just to just demystify that every man's going to go for it. Every man's going to want to work with you or want to, you know, be with somebody who says, hey, just so you know, this is what I want out of life, and this is what I want to do. And at some point, I'm going to do this. And is that a problem for you? I
Yeah.
don't want to demonize the guys that say, you know what, it's a problem for me, but hey, I appreciate you being honest with me, and I wish you the best. Now, I mean,
What happens,
mm-hmm,
right? When you're dating someone, and because as time moves on, or as time goes on, people
mm-hmm,
change and their wants and needs changes,
mm-hmm,
right? So we're dating, and we've been dating 7 years, almost 10 years.
mm-hmm,
And then you come to me one day and you go, I think I want to continue on with my transition, and I think I want post op. But right when you guys were dating in the beginning, it was no, that's not something I'll ever want.
mm-hmm.
Now, does that become a problem for you? Yeah, I mean,
Um,
you're 10 years into the relationship, and then all of a sudden
yeah.
she goes, "Yeah, I'm ready. This is something that I feel
Well,
that I want now, and
I
I'm ready
mean,
for that."
that's one of those situations. So that's really the thing where it's like, look, guy, you've been with her for 10 years. This is your life partner. I think in my mind, I think as long as you're both willing to have honest conversation and willing to do whatever it takes to give each other what the other one wants, I think you'll be fine. And really, I think and then it's been my actual personal experience that as long as both of you are willing to do whatever it takes to get the other person off, you'll be fine.
Yeah,
The moment people start putting up blockades, I ain't doing that, I ain't doing this. It's come on. Now I'm just be honest. I had a girlfriend. I had an ex who was post-op, and I mean, it was, bro. You would have thought I was asking her to give me $1 million, just asking for anal. I got this new pussy. I ain't doing anal, and I'm like, but I like anal, and you knew I like this, and
yeah,
that's where I want to go with it. But okay, so you don't want to do it now, but you've been doing it your whole life. So why is it so difficult now? Like it's just one of those things. I think the shit can work as long as she knows you're a man who likes pork, and she's not going to try and force you on a chicken diet. I
right.
like pork. Pork ain't chicken. Chicken ain't pork. These are different things. Now, chicken will sustain you, and you can eat chicken, but you really like pork.
Yeah,
It's just one of those situations where it's like, hey, we both got to give, and we both got to be willing to do what it takes to. We both got to be willing to give our partners what they enjoy for their satisfaction. So it goes. We came full circle back to we both got to be willing to do for each other,
sure. Yeah,
make sacrifices for each other, do be in service to each other.
right.
So I think even a guy who's dead set on no, I ain't never going that way again. I think the right woman who's willing to work with him, and the right partner who, you know, is willing to give, and just in my opinion, that's what I see. But that's based off of my personal experience, and that's I believe if things were different in that way, it probably would have things probably would have went a lot better, and I think there would have been a lot less sexual frustration. So, oh, sorry, hold on. Henry asked a question.
Yeah, it's what's a human being? What's a human being, gentlemen? Is that a fair question?
Yeah, a human
Uh,
being is a what is that technical term? Homo sapien.
Homo sapien. A human being is somebody that calls their mother regularly, and tells her that they love her. A human being is somebody that has some form of personal connection with the universe, either with God or, like I said, with the universe. Somebody who doesn't kick dogs, um, who laughs often, cries when they need to, and yeah, I
There you
mean,
go.
I don't know how to answer that. What a human being is.
I mean, I guess the human being, the being would be the soul part, like the essence of who you are, personality wise, more so than
I'm a
this
Virgo.
this meaty cage that we are encased in.
Yeah.
Um, so I am just not. What's here? Okay. Sorry, comments just keep showing in. Dude, I haven't done a show this long since maybe 2020.
Oh wow. I mean, it's a good show.
Maybe very early 2021. Like we used to go long, then I'm like, nope, 1 hour show. Cut, cut, cut. All right. Misha says, I feel like socially I want to do it, but that is not reason enough. I love my body too much to ever regret that decision. I am a trans woman regardless. Cool. Tracy says, I am just not sure sacrificing your desires for your own body for the desires of your man is entirely healthy. Absolutely.
Do it for yourself, not for your man.
Yeah, Johnny Lasso, I believe you meant transtastic. Johnny said, Tracy, you are fantastic. And Tracy says, I believe you meant transtastic.
Transtastic.
Tracy comes up with funny ones every once in a while. But you know what? At the end of the day, I think this is what Tracy said is important because, at some point, people just got to be willing to accept that they're not compatible.
Right.
And that some shit ain't, everybody ain't for everybody. Everybody ain't meant to be for every single little thing. Don't matter. Like, it's so if it's a cap, it's a cap. And if that's where y'all end and hey, y'all are still good friends and he supports you in X, Y, and Z, it's kind of like a marriage where one partner transitions halfway through the marriage. Sometimes they figure out, hey, you know what? I don't want this, but I still love you. And I wish you the best in finding X, Y, and Z, and I'll still support you. We could be friends. So, that happens as well.
So it's funny that you said that about the whole marriage thing. I was a best man in somebody's wedding, somebody that I grew up with. He was my best friend. Now they have, during the pandemic, realized or finally accepted within themselves that they're trans. So they have been transitioning to female. And I mean, I'm already involved with the community and know the correct term. So it was an easy switch just to identify them as female and use the correct pronouns and stuff like that. But what I find is interesting is now their partner is transitioning to male, which is it's very interesting. And I have a lot of questions. I have so many questions, but
I mean, I've seen it before, but yeah, it's definitely rare. But good for them, and I hope they they make it and
it seems that they
figure
are
it out.
more in love now than what they expressed before. And I mean, I'm happy for them. Good for them. Good for them.
It's always attractive to be your I'm sorry. I think I'm losing my words here. It's always great to be your authentic self and be accepted for it. I think that's that's one of the great things about real love is when this person knows things that are not perfect about you or things that you might be afraid they might turn away from you on, and it's like they know everything and they're still there.
So I have my one friend, and she's trans, and her and I were having a conversation because I was telling her about this, which I find it very like, why? So her whole thing was, well, if I was married to a man and I was in love with him, and then he transitioned to female, I would leave him. And I was like, why? That is somebody you love. That's somebody you fell in love with. Out of everybody in this whole fucking world, you would be the one that should understand the most why they
Mhm.
feel the way they feel and is transitioning. Like I don't understand. And the thing that got me was because she's like, it's not the person I fell in love with.
Yeah.
What the fuck? Like
I
how?
mean,
Because okay, if we're dating and then
yeah.
at some point you realize, you know what, this is not who I am anymore, and I've done more soul searching, and
Hmm.
and maybe this is just the type of guy that I am. You decide you want to detransition. It's
Hmm.
gonna break my fucking heart because essentially I'm losing the person I love in a way, but at the same time, I will still see. I don't want to say like give it a try. I mean, I'm in love with you and I'm married with you again. I'm there through thick and thin, no matter what. You know, if
Hmm.
you want to detransition, looks like I'm, now married to. I don't know.
A man.
Yeah, there you go. I
Yeah.
didn't. Yeah, but
I mean, detransition. That's what it is. So, but you know what though? That's so the thing we need to realize is, hey, some people it's for them, and some people it ain't.
yeah,
So it's like, yo, Dom, you're one of those people. You could be flexible in that sense. You'll give it a try, cool. But there are other people that's like, yeah, yo, I like women and I don't like men. I can't do this. And that woman's probably like, yo, I want to be with a man, not with a woman. And this just isn't it for me. But but that's what I'm talking about. I've seen that happen where they were like, hey, you know
yeah,
what? We could be friends and I'll support you and I'm not going to keep your kids away from you and all that stuff, but
sure,
I need a man. We can still have a relationship, it just won't be romantic. I've seen that where that friendship continues on.
right,
And so I've seen that instance, but if somebody says, hey, I need to be with a man, if I'm with somebody and they detransition, I like women. I need to be with a woman. I need to be with somebody who brings that womanly presence, that class to the situation, to the room, like all of that shit. It's just, it's I don't know, man. It's just something about women and what you get with women that I'm just like, yo, I have to. That's what I want. That's what I'm attracted to. That's what I feel like I need. And I don't want the hairy armpits and the man stank, and it's just not
yeah,
me. I
yeah,
just don't. It's just not what I'm into. But that doesn't mean I can't still love that person, and that doesn't mean I would teach my children to disrespect that person and not accept them, or even my family.
sure,
Like, hey, this person's a part of the mix forever, but I have to move on with what I feel like I need out of life. So, I think all of this shit, a lot of shit is just wrapped up a lot of times just around the fear of losing somebody, the fear of letting go, the fear of change, the fear of moving on.
yeah,
And moving on doesn't necessitate somebody being a villain. We
sure,
don't, every situation, it doesn't have to be this person's bad, this person's good. These are just people where they were just incompatible. Shit just didn't work out. And it's okay for shit to just not work out, and they can move on and still be cool with each other. And it isn't adversarial. They're not pitting their family or their friends against the other person. They're still in each other's lives. Like, I just feel like there's a way to do this where we still kind of we're really mature about this shit. I understand it's hard with emotions and feelings and all that shit, but especially if you got a family, we got to put these kids first. We got to give them a stable life. The kids
yeah,
come before everything else at that point. But that's my opinion and thoughts. And Henry said, I mean, we are Homo sapiens, we are human beings. See,
yeah,
and
yeah,
I'm sorry, Dion said something here. It says real love should be established in friendship, and that transcends all limits and expectations. Best example is when your partner changes. Absolutely, absolutely. And, that's what I'm saying. Like that friendship should still be there. That love for that person, that respect, all that stuff should still be there. But hey, she's gotta either. I mean, now some women can bend with that and stay with you know their spouse, and like you said, you would might be able to facilitate that as well. It's just not everybody is that flexible in a sense.
Right.
And but I don't want to, again, I don't want to demonize people who just aren't flexible enough for that, because I feel like everybody's just different, and it isn't like I hate. It isn't always like it's not always coming from hate. That's what I'm trying to get across here. But anyhow,
Yeah.
I know we kind of just
No,
just
yeah.
talking, and yeah. But yeah, man. I mean, this is look this that question about will a man leave if she gets the eternal tuck, as I call it.
The eternal talk.
Yeah, that's up to him. But I mean, I understand that you are with somebody and you are both still interested in pleasing each other. You are both still attracted to each other. You're both still looking to be together. And there's all this stuff built up that, like, yo, I feel like you can make it work if you have all that history and all that stuff, and you're both still dedicated to being happy together. Like, cool. And maybe there's some things the guy has to work out, and that maybe with the change. But I think everybody's got to be understanding that it's a transition, and that there needs to be empathy on what the man is going through as well. Because
Right.
in these situations, it's all like woman, it's all her thing, it's her thing, it's her. Yeah, but this is your husband, he's here too. And you're literally asking him to do what very few humans are ever asked to do, which is accept a different set of sexual organs on your partner. That's not normal. Most people are not asked to do that and make that sexual switch.
Right.
So to sit here and act like, well, you should just do it right off top and it should be easy for you, it ain't going to be easy.
Mm-mm.
It's not regular. Most people never have to worry about that. And the guy's it's gonna be an adjustment for the guy, and people have to understand that shit. And I know there's a lot of people that they could care less about a man's feelings. Well, for those individuals, marriage ain't really for you.
Yeah.
But for the individuals it is for, come on, that's just where we got to be. But it is getting late, and I have to catch an early flight out to see my girlfriend. So in the morning, so I am going to get my sleep. But Tom, thank you so much for giving me your time, bro. Thank you for being honest.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Thank you for your candor and your questions and your vulnerability on the show, bro. It's very much appreciated.
Absolutely. Hey, man, whenever you call, I'm always there. So I'm always coming. I'm always running.
For sure. And if I know about the subject, I'm happy to be on your show too. I think it's been one time where I'm like, I ain't never really seen the movies. I can't do it.
Yeah. Look, I have been on my show. I've been lacking with that. I mean, it's kind of hard because if you're not getting paid by sponsors, I mean, it's really
we got
hard
day jobs, people.
Yeah,
we got day jobs in life.
So much has changed in the entertainment industry. Everything with Warner Brothers Discovery, and the whole DC and all that. That's all stuff I want to talk about, man, and have a voice for. But it's just it's terrible. Some days I'm working from like 10 in the morning to 10 at night, and then it's all about trying to put together a schedule and seeing who's available and who's not available. And I think I just need to kind of suck it up. And
you're the store manager.
Yeah.
So that's everything falls on you.
Yeah.
At that point.
So I think I just need to suck it up on my own show and just be a one-man show for a while until I can rebuild a team, an actual team that is, works a specific way and has a specific presence on camera and not like the other individuals, but whatever. Yeah, but yeah, man, whenever you want me here, I'll be here, no doubt about it. So
sure, appreciate you, bro.
Yeah, man, absolutely. And, hey, may the force be with you too. So
Absolutely. Yeah. So, great show. Great first show of the year. First show of the
oh,
year.
this was the first
This was
one.
number one. We'll be
Oh yeah.
regular as we always were. We'll be back every Friday. Show starts at 8:30 Eastern. Around 8:30 Eastern, I try to no later than 9.
So
Sometimes end up being a little bit late.
are you down in Houston right now?
Yeah, I'm in Houston right now.
You're in
Yeah.
Houston. Okay. All right.
So I'm in Houston right now. But yeah, I get out east to visit my girlfriend. But yeah, please, if you're watching this, you made it to the end of the show. I thank you so much for that. Share this with somebody else. We had some dope conversations here tonight. If you're watching on Facebook, please share this. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if you know anybody else who might want to hear this shit, share the YouTube link with them. If you're watching on Twitter, retweet this shit. Please do us the service of trying to share this out. If you're listening on podcast platforms, give us a good review. Hit us with the 5 stars. Leave a positive note. The more great reviews we get on the show, the more visible we will be to other listeners. So, with that, we are out, and we will see y'all here next Friday.
And the show was sponsored by Mint Mobile. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding.
All right, y'all. Peace.
All